Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, I believe. You might notice that it's a little bit sepia colored in here and not as bright as normal. That's because the air quality outside is totally fogged up and complete trash. And the reason why it is totally fogged up and complete trash, and if I look outside it looks like I'm in Hollywood, Mexico, is because there's fires right now in Thunder Bay. And Thunder Bay, the fires in Thunder Bay have sent its smoke down my way, and now my ass is grass. On one hand, it's blocked out the sun quite a bit, so it's cooler in this heat wave, this new heat wave that was happening, so it's not as hot as it was yesterday. On the other hand, it smells like lung cancer outside, so, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Yeah. CTV, Canadian television, yes. CTV. Yes. Correct. You're correct. It's basically because of where I live. We are live on Twitch and we are live on YouTube. Excuse me, I have to fix my booster seat. Yeah, that's right. I sit on a booster seat. Because I am tiny, and the lumbar support does not exist on chairs for me at all. On the other hand, I want to show you guys something neat before we get started. Check out how much of this pothos has exploded. Look at how many new leaves there are on it. It's huge now. It's great. 10 out of 10. It's doing a good job. Okay. We need to go down the rabbit hole with where the phrase "your ass is grass" came from. Do we? Do we need to do that? Is that a necessity? Do we need to do that? Today we're gonna watch Pete Hokstra. I don't like Pete Hokstra. To the surprise of fucking nobody. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Quite frankly, I don't know who would like this man. He's a loser. And he sucks. And he's really dumb. And basically everything he says is useless. And when I say useless, I mean, like, he's the American representative for the Trump administration for the United States in Canada right now. Which means nothing he says actually matters or holds any weight because Donald Trump changes his mind between point A and point B. Okay, Canuck smoke. Yeah. Yeah. It do be like that. Let's swing on over here, shall we? Wahoo! Alright, so CTV News is just Canadian television. News. Hi, welcome! Hello. Today we're watching Pete Hokstra embarrass himself. Because that's literally all this man ever does. I have yet to see a time where I've seen Pete Hokstra where he's not embarrassing himself. Are we ready? Are we prepared? Has everybody got their facepalm protection? You're not prepared for this. This is gonna be dumb. Alright, let's go.
Welcome to Question Period on this Sunday, June 28th. I'm Vashi Capellos. Today, miles apart.
We were not anywhere close to announcing any type of a framework.
Despite just days to go before the CUSMA review deadline, Washington's top representative in Ottawa says the two sides remain far apart. U.S. President Donald Trump consistently insists his country needs nothing from Canada, despite evidence to the contrary. So what's the path ahead? We'll bring you part 2 of...
Donald Trump keeps saying he doesn't need Canada despite evidence to the contrary. I think it's one of my favorite ways that I've seen a journalist talk about anything Donald Trump says. Despite evidence to the contrary, the President of the United States is doing whatever the fuck he thinks feels good at the time. You're still waiting on your protection to arrive? Yeah, mine hasn't shown up either. But I assume that FTFE is a busy boy. Hey, Borg, good to see you. I see Jason in here as well. Hey. Pete Jokestra. Yeah, what is it? Heat Porkstra? Two sides. In a triplet agreement? Yeah, I know. Yeah, listen, there's the United States and there's everywhere else. That's the two sides.
Our exclusive broadcast interview with U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hokstra. Then, Canada's top soldier.
It's all about delivering actual military effects with those investments.
This country.
Oh, don't tell the Americans that we think a female is our top soldier. Look out.
Military is receiving a cash infusion not seen in decades, but is it improving the armed forces' overall readiness? Chief of the Defense Staff General Jenny Carignan is here, and I'll ask her. Plus, gloves off.
I don't believe this represents America. I really don't.
Hunter Biden, son of former U.S. President Joe Biden, is back in the spotlight, but this time it's his brutal honesty and sometimes no-holds-barred social media presence that's capturing attention, including tweets about Canada. So what's motivating this new chapter? Mr. Biden is here, and I'll ask him. We'll start today.
Hooray!
With the still-fraught CUSMA negotiations. At stake, the very survival of the trilateral free trade agreement. Earlier this week, we brought you part one of my exclusive broadcast interview with U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hokstra. He made it clear with just days to go to the July 1st deadline, Canada and the U.S. are nowhere near a breakthrough. And despite the two sides making progress in October of last year, the ambassador claims Canada has yet to make another good offer. So, what from the American perspective constitutes a good offer? That's where I started part two of my conversation with the ambassador.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, part two. Okay, what happened to Canada anyway? They used to import amazing things like Mr. Dress-Up, Bryan Adams, and maple... You mean export. You used to import them. We exported them. And real maple syrup. Now they just import wildfire-smoking Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary fucking sucks. Amazing. I'm punching way above my weight. I am very small. Sir, I am very small. Everything is above my weight. Canada has nominated General Janine Kerrigan, the Chief of Defensive Staff, as a candidate for the chair of the NATO Military Committee. That sounds about right. Hunter Biden needs to go away. Listen, that's not gonna happen. The United States is too much of a fucking clown show right now for anybody to have the wherewithal to go away when they should. All right, let's see. What does the United States think a good offer is?
Again, the offer in October was great. It was 3 or 4 million barrels of oil to the United States per year more. A framework on a steel agreement that would have been good for the U.S., would have been good for Canada. Aluminum, same thing. Uranium, the same thing. Auto parts, the same thing. So I mean,
okay.
a good deal for both.
So the original deal, or one of the deals that was put out in October, was a good deal and it was rejected. Great, yeah, we got that. We understand that. So it was rejected. So what is a good deal is the question, Pete. He's not gonna be able to fucking answer this goddamn question. Canada is facing crisis internally with unchecked immigration. Do you have a citation for that? Can you please elaborate what you're referring to? How small is very small? You're under 5 feet. I am under 5 feet, yes. I am a homunculus.
For both countries is the deal that we both look at and say, you know what, there's a win in here for us. And Canada looks at it and says, you know what, there's a win in here for us as well.
So you think, do you
But you
still
didn't
think
take
it's
it.
possible for something to be arrived at eventually that is win-win? Because you will know as anyone else that there's a ton of analysis out there that says the president is not interested in win-win. He's interested in the Americans winning and the Canadians not. And many of his comments have been to that effect. We don't need Canada.
Valid.
We don't need anything they have to offer us. He said that on repeated occasions.
Yeah, the president's a phenomenal negotiator. All right.
The president is such a phenomenal negotiator that he hasn't gotten a single deal done at all. What happened to those 100 deals in 100 days? Is that, where are we at on that? Is it still 0? I think it's still 0. And we're long past that 100-day mark, aren't we? I believe so. I could be wrong.
But if you read his book,
The Art of the Deal?
Deal,
No!
the only way you get to a deal is if both sides see a win.
Yeah, but seeing a win doesn't mean it is one, my guy. That's like the classic devil contract. You read the fine print just because you... More interested in you than this political circus. Oh, see, you know what's up. Oh. I missed a spot on my head. Whoops. I'll deal with that later.
In what has been agreed to. And yes, the president negotiates on our behalf. He's negotiating for Americans. But you know what? So is Mark Carney.
What? It's fine. It's fine. Go on.
Mark Carney
Sorry.
is not negotiating, obviously, for Americans, but he is negotiating for the best interest of Canada. And there are all kinds of things that, we could be working together on and moving forward on. Critical minerals, additional uranium enrichment, both.
So why aren't we? So what's the problem, Pete? Am I from Canada? Yes, I am. I live near Toronto, which is why it looks like Hollywood, Mexico outside right now.
Both countries have made a huge commitment to nuclear power. We saw the announcement here this week about that. The United States is doing the same kind of commitment. So we have all kinds of things that are.
Are you? Wait, hold on, guys. I need to fact check. Is the United States has the United States announced a big commitment to nuclear? Is that what? At all? I don't think that's true. I think he just made that up right now. Hold on. Hold on. The same kind of deal. U.S. nuclear power policy. World Nuclear Association. For those of you living in a non-nuclear weapons, blah, 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 blah. Going nuclear, DOE bets on America's future. 1 year after executive orders, U.S. Okay, let's get the Department of Energy. Let's see what this says. So this is the U.S. Department of Energy, so we can, You forgot I moved? You're not far from Detroit? I'm not too far from Detroit. Nuclear energy renaissance is in full swing. Okay, looking back on a transformative 12 months of progress since Donald Trump's executive orders on nuclear energy. On May 23rd, 2025, last year, President Trump issued 4 executive orders to revitalize the U.S. nuclear energy industry. The message was clear: move quickly and decisively to bring about an American nuclear renaissance, whatever the fuck that means. In the years since, we've seen an unprecedented transformation in the nation's approach to delivering more nuclear power than ever before. Next-generation reactor designs are moving towards key tests with impressive speed. Licensing for new reactors has been streamlined. Our nuclear fuel supply has been reinforced to meet future energy demands. Retired nuclear plants are on target to restart, and utilities are gearing up to boost the power output of existing plants. America's nuclear energy renaissance is truly underway. Last May, we explored 19 key takeaway from Trump's executive orders on nuclear energy, reading to find out what we accomplished in the last time as a reactor pilot program, DOJ, also micro-reactor testing. Launch pad ready for liftoff in March 2026. DOE and NRIC announced the establishment of the Nuclear Energy Launch Pad, building on the momentum of the reactor and fuel line programs. Launch Pad was created to help industry demonstrate a wider swath of advanced nuclear technologies on federal and non-federal lands. Launchpad fosters a robust, innovative ecosystem to support expanded. Okay, that's just testing. Add 300 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts of new U.S. nuclear capacity by 2050. Take away from President's executive order. These are all just executive orders, though. What's the policy? Yeah, whatever. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna count as similar or the same kind, but sure, fine. I'll accept it for now. Go on, Pete. He hasn't answered a question yet, by the way, just to be clear.
The table's almost set for immediate investment and growth and jobs and prosperity in a whole series of areas without even looking out at where else can we cooperate.
The table is almost set to do a thing we were doing before your president decided to try to do economic terrorism on everybody.
There's been talk about the Arctic. We're waiting, okay, on this in terms of, does Canada want to do the Arctic by itself? defend the Arctic. There have been statements to that effect.
What do you mean? When has Canada ever said that they were going to defend the Arctic by itself? It's not even close to a thing that's real. Hold on, we gotta open Google Maps again. Hold on, let's go get Google Maps. Go to Google Earth. Oh, please hold. Let's pull this up because this fucking guy. Oh my god, just go. Go. No, I don't want to download it. I just want to go. Just go. Why are you so complicated? Alright, Google is loading. Let me look. Just let me look. Why don't you just let me explore Google Earth? Thank you. Jesus. Fucking shut up! God, why are you so complicated? Alright, where are we? Gotta find out where we're here's Google Earth. Is that Australia? What am I looking at? Is that Africa? Oh, there we go. Here's North America. Okay. Alright, there's Mexico. This is the Rocky Mountains. Here's Alaska. This is Alaska right here, right? So, this is the whole Arctic, right? So, there's Greenland. There's Sweden and Finland up at the top here, right? It might be a little bit hard for you guys to see. There's the United Kingdom, there's Iceland, there's Greenland. This is all Canada. This is all Canada stuff. There's Japan over here, here's Russia, and here's Alaska. So, does the United States forget that Alaska exists? Like, is Pete Hokstra implying that Canada's going to defend Alaska for the on behalf of the United States? Because our prime minister has already gone to Norway, Sweden, Finland. Like, they have their own Iceland, Denmark. They all have their own meetings, and Canada was invited and went to talk about this whole scenario of defending this entire swath of Arctic stuff from Russia and China and I guess maybe the United States. I don't know. So, what do you mean? What do you mean? Okay. All right, go on.
Can you understand why? I think, a number of years ago, what you're laying out would have made perfect sense to Canadians, right? Deepening integration in the areas that matter most, particularly from a continental perspective. And in fact, that's what has occurred over so many years. But in the course of the last, year and a half, the hesitation that you are describing is likely the genesis of, comments and actions by the administration and by the president himself. Canada only works as a state. We don't need anything they have. As a state, it would be one of the great states anyway. Canada is totally dependent on the United States. Without us, Canada can't make it. If we stop buying their products, Canada would cease to exist as a country. If someone spoke to the United States that way, would you be...
I love the statement, if we stopped buying their products, Canada would cease existing as a country. I don't know of a statement that has backfired harder. Oh yeah, by the way, California was recently begging begging provinces and begging Canada to put their liquor back on the shelves, and we said LOL no.
Be advocating for deeper integration, or would you too have some hesitance?
We would take a look at our business community, where we're doing well. We wouldn't go to our largest trading partner and say there's a rupture, and we're actually going to be looking somewhere else.
You wouldn't do that if someone expressed to the United States. Pardon me, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. We would take a look at that.
Woman, let me finish saying nothing and not answer your question. Jesus.
And we'd say, okay, let's see exactly what we can develop, what kind of agreements we can develop. And obviously we would take a look at going to alternative sources. But Canadians are smart people. Okay? You have smart business people. They have been looking at diversification for years and decades.
Yeah. Yeah, they have been.
This is not a brilliant new idea that says, wow, let's sell to Europe, let's sell to Asia, okay?
He's trying to underplay the movement. That's very funny.
That's not a great insight. What they found, and I've spent a
Something doesn't have to be a new idea to be a profound insight. Right? I'm 14 and this is deep. Just because it's been in the back of other people's minds before does not mean it's not a big deal. Right? That's just not how that works.
a lot of time with your business community. They have found that doing business in Europe is not easy. It is hard, okay?
My guy, okay, I'm going back to Google Earth for a second. I'm going to show you. Want to know why Canada trades so much with the United States? That's why. Do you see that? You see on the screen? You see how you've got Canada right here? And you have this whole big long line right here? This whole big long line right here? And it borders the United States? Right there, you see that? You see this big, long, undefended border? That is the entire continent. It's the width of the entire continent. Gee, guys, why would Canada trade with the United States so much? Why would we do something like that, guys? I don't understand. You want to see the other hard part? Look, you see this is the United Kingdom, and here's Europe. You see how Europe is way over here? You want me to make this north-facing again? Reset to north. There we go. You see how you've got the United Kingdom, Denmark, Norway, Poland, Romania, like it's all way over here, and there's this whole big chunk right here of ocean. You see that? You see how far this is? So you gotta like get stuff from in the middle of over here because these are all of our like this is where we produce like our canola oil and stuff. All that's happening like right here. So we gotta get that all the way out, all the way over here. As opposed to just Wink. At the end of the day, like, look how far away Japan is. Japan's crazy far. But, like, at the end of the day, there's lots of reasons why Canada and the US have integration and should have some integration and should have deals and agreements like Kuzma. It's beneficial for everybody to have a free trade agreement between our three countries on the same continent together that share such huge borders. It's convenient, it's easy, it's good for everybody. I don't know why you want to shoot yourself in the foot over and over again, but, you know, Europe, Asia, far away, US near. Yes, near, far, near, far.
The French like to buy from the Germans, they like to buy from the Dutch, and they like to buy from the Spaniards and all those.
Oh, really? Does it have anything to do with the fact that France is... Okay, where's France? Where are you? There's France. France is right here, and Germany is right here, and Spain and France and Germany are bordering each other? Could it be that it's really convenient for France to trade with Germany because it's literally right there? this fucking guy, I swear to God. Oh. Oh. Is loading.
Okay, one last time. These are small, but the ones out there are far away. Small, far away. Ah, forget it.
Very funny.
Those types of things. You know, maybe they would like to buy some Canadian, but it's not their first place where they go. So
bing bang, wall ting tang, geography exists. Can we also, like, talk for a second about how, like, there's things that you can buy from Canada that you won't be able to find or get as easily as you would find or get in Germany or in Italy, what do you say, Spain? From Spain and in France, like they're. What is with this idiot? Canadians are really smart, so I'm gonna be really dumb.
So
they'll never figure it out.
I mean, this is for your economists to figure out how fast it can happen and those types of things. But I think it's hard. But I would never.
It's hard, therefore we shouldn't do it. Be lazy.
Take your biggest customer. We would never have taken our biggest customer and just thrown them under the bus and say sorry.
That is literally what you did. Yeah, Canada is the biggest customer of United States alcohol. Canada has one of the biggest trade situations with the United States, particularly in the automotive, aluminum, and steel industries. Those industries are kind of tied to, and lumber. Actually, Canada is one of the biggest trading partners for the United States for oil as well, by the way. For anybody who isn't aware of that. Yeah, do you want me to pull up the actual number? Let me see what it is. American oil imports. Oh, by country. That's what I'm looking for. Ha-ha! Here you go! Look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Isn't that crazy? Look how dark Canada is. 1.7 billion barrels. Hey, you notice how everywhere else is different colors? Like, see how that's 102.7 million, and over here is 28.6 million, and China 5.8 million, 1.7 billion. This is as of 2026, by the way, guys. Look, oil imported by the United States by the barrel. 0, 200 million, 400 million, 600 million, 800 million, 1 billion, 1.2 billion, 1.4 billion, 1.6 billion, 1.8 billion. Oh, 1.7 billion. You wouldn't throw your biggest trading partner under the bus? You wouldn't? Really? It's news to me. Oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. That's almost like that's the exact fucking thing you did. Oops.
Sorry, we're out of here.
But do you understand how that's exactly how it felt to Canadians? And I know you...
Not even felt. Listen, lady. Fuck this guy. Be more aggressive. That's not how it felt. That's what it was. That's what it is. The United States president actually said that he was intentionally causing economic turmoil in Canada to weaken Canada on purpose.
You push back against these... But we were your biggest customer,
Let's
right?
talk about business. Okay.
Then how are we not talking about business, my guy? How is this lady literally saying we are your biggest customer? Oh no. Let's talk business. He's very business minded.
How are you going to create jobs and prosperity?
This guy makes me think of like an old uncle who thinks he knows what he's talking about over turkey dinner at Thanksgiving, who just likes to talk over the women who are actually professionals in the field that he's talking about. And the women just go, okay, whatever, go ahead. You talk, Uncle Pete, go for it. Before he falls asleep on the lounger, like on the lazy boy, and everybody ignores him.
For your people. We do business with people that don't say the nicest things about America. All right?
What? Because business isn't about personal feelings. That's not business. That's not how business works. Business is not about that at all. What are you talking about?
Okay, how are you going to create jobs and prosperity for your people? We do business with people that don't say the nicest things about America. All right? And, we do business. The amazing thing is a lot of Canadian business are still...
This man is just meandering.
looking at expanding into the U.S.
Of course.
There's a lot of American businesses that would love to do business in Canada, even though you ban our products. We can't bid on procurement and those types.
Oh, isn't America the ones that banned Kinder eggs? We didn't ban American alcohol in Canada. It's not banned. It's not illegal to have American alcohol. Our government-run stores are not selling it. And that's a provincial decision. The provinces have made that decision, and not every province made that decision. Alberta, for example, if I'm not mistaken, it still has American alcohol available on shelves. But the problem is like, nobody's buying it. No, like, Canadians are not buying American alcohol, so it's not a good business decision to invest money in buying American alcohol regardless. But it's not banned. It's not, there's no prohibition on it. That's not true.
Types of things.
I have questioned many federal ministers about the efforts to diversify, the challenges previously, and the challenges that presents right now. But you framed the initial comment there around,
I have a question. What jobs are lost on Canadian soil because we're not importing American alcohol? Because that's what he just likened that to. Does anybody in the chat know of any jobs that have been lost because of that ban in Canada? Ban. Because I can't think of one off the top of my head. So if anybody knows a different one, or knows of one, because I can't think of one. Because the people that are selling alcohol in these stores that aren't procuring American alcohol are still working in those stores because we procured alcohol from other places. It's not like like all the Canadians stopped drinking. We are still very much a bunch of alcoholics. we drink, especially Ontario, we drink a lot. Canada, population percentage-wise, drinks more alcohol than America does. Isn't Alberta the Mississippi of Canada? Alberta's the Texas of Canada. In my humble opinion.
taking issue with the fact that it's being described as a rupture, but you want us to refer to...
Yeah, it's such a baby nitpick. He's just picking on the language. Maybe one truck driver who had to find another load. Oh, yeah, Cure makes a good point. Yeah, could be like a little bit of, that's a good one, yeah.
The comments from the president, for example, or the way in which he's described this country as simply noise. I'm presenting to you just like when you're wondering why there might be some hesitation not to further integration or make that sales pitch in the way you describe it, that perhaps is part of it, that part of the responsibility and the onus, the burden of that lies not just with Canada, but specifically with the president who decided to take aim at your close friend and neighbor.
We did not take aim at Canada.
We did not. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. It did not. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Ow! Hi, Mark. What do you... Listen, America didn't purposefully attack and threaten to annex Canada at all. I don't know what you mean. That didn't happen. The last year didn't happen. My guy, do you actually think we're this fucking stupid?
Those statements are not taking aim, with all due respect, Ambassador.
The taking aim...
All due respect is zero. The zero respect. None. At all. Pete Hokstra does not deserve respect of any variety. He gets the respect of, I acknowledge that you are a human being. That's about it. That's the line you're at with me.
Take a look at your economic, we put tariffs on every country in the world.
And she asked about the statements. She asked about the statements that were being made, that she read out to you. What the fuck? That's what he did in the Netherlands too, flat out denying the shit Trump said. Yeah, he's very bad at this. He's not good at his job. He must be a DEI hire.
We did not take aim at Canada. We took a policy that we were implementing on a global basis that we believed we had to put in place to keep America strong and prosperous. So, there were only two countries that responded in a strongly negative way. Okay? The rest of the world, we've negotiated trade agreements.
Oh, really? Have you threatened to annex those other countries? Is it possible that you were more hostile towards some of those other countries? I would like to take this moment to remind I'll take this moment to remind everybody this is Trump's second term, and in his first term, the first time, before Joe Biden became president, the first time he was in office, he did the same thing. And Canadians were equally as fucking confused the first time. So you slapped us in the first time, and we were like, "What? Okay, all right, Jesus." And now the second time, you're mad that we're like, "No, fuck you, my guy, please." Yeah, if you're looking for this, the link is in the description down below.
Okay, the rest of the world, we've negotiated trade agreements, we've worked on frameworks and those types of things. We did not.
And have 0 trade deals done. 0. None. Zip, zilch, nada. You ain't got shit. 100 deals in 100 days.
Take aim at Canada.
Yes, you did.
Really? And I asked
Really? She's like, are you fucking serious? I have never heard a more professional "are you fucking serious" in my life. Really? With great respect. 0 respect. None. No respect. Really? Amazing.
At Canada.
Really? And I ask with great respect, because yes, you did apply tariffs to other countries, but you initially applied 232 fentanyl-associated tariffs to Canada. And wherein the president, did not refer to every other country in the way that, as I cataloged, he has referred.
That's exactly like what I said. He didn't threaten to annex every other country on the planet. I remember you covering Pete Hokstra on a press briefing, and he was attempting to ignore a question. The other journalist spoke up that he got to answer the question. All the journalists were asking him the same question. I think that's a brilliant move by journalists. Are you talking about like in Denmark? Because I think that might have been Denmark. One of the most brilliant things I think I've ever seen a group of journalists do is if somebody is ignoring a question and you really want to force them to answer, all the journalists ask the same question, so that way they can't weasel out of anything or move on to something else. The other thing that I really, really do wish the press would do is stop barking like a bunch of mad dogs inside the White House or every time Trump is doing anything, and it's just such a chaotic mess, and Trump is doing it on purpose. So if they could like unionize around not doing that and like just raise your hands quietly and then let him pick instead of like this shouting bullshit, it would be so much more, it'd be more effective and it'd be way more amusing.
To Canada. I understand that you're upset with the response that Canada made.
I'm not upset. It doesn't bother
president,
me.
okay, you don't view.
He is very upset, and it very much bothers him.
The response from Canada positively. But from where I sit, it seems like you're frustrated with the idea that when Canada got punched, they didn't just lay there.
Yeah.
That, Canada can have whatever response it wants, okay? We are willing to do business with Canada. The president has made that clear. He embraced the agreement back in October for 5 huge sectors of this economy, saying we were willing to invest, we were willing to cooperate and create a framework that we thought would be good for America and we thought would be good for Canada, and that we would then take that and expand it to other sectors of a total agreement.
This is after the illegal tariffs that you did, violating our prior agreements. But besides that, so then why isn't that the deal we're doing? Why isn't that going through, Hook?
And
and what?
So, but if Canada wants to be hesitant, they can do that. But the other message that we send is very positive. We recognize the needs we have. Okay, we need critical minerals. We've indicated to Canada, we think you're very much a natural partner. You're close by. You have lots of.
We don't need anything from Canadians.
These, but if you don't want to sign an agreement with us, we understand. Okay, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop. Okay, so we go to Australia, we go to Africa, we go to the Philippines, lots of other countries to meet our needs, even though we think in many ways Canada would be the preferred partner. Same thing.
I would like to again bring up the oil What do you say, Australia? 180,000 barrels from Australia. What do you say, the Philippines? Where are the Philippines? Are they even here? Are they even part of this? What do we got? South Sudan, Congo. I don't know where the Philippines are. Libya, Algeria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Turkey. I thought the Philippines was down here somewhere. Am I crazy? I mean, they just might not do nitpick, but Africa is not a country. Oh, valid? Am I crazy? Oh, well, that's Indonesia. Malaysia, Thailand, India, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Philippines. Yo, they don't even get any oil. They get none. There's no oil coming from the Philippines. Zero. None. That's in the zero range. It's grayed out. It's not even a participant. Okay.
Thing on oil. We would love to.
See? Oil. You were about to be like, but he didn't specify oil. Maybe. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's not talking about oil. He's talking about oil. Fucking lie to me. You thought I wasn't, no, I got it. I know what's going on here.
Countries to meet our needs, even though we think in many ways Canada would be the preferred partner. Same thing on oil. We would love to, do more business with Alberta.
More business with Alberta specifically. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Is your wife a goer?
Oil producing provinces, and because we have the infrastructure, we know how to do business with the Canadian businesses that are on the north side of the border. We know how to build pipelines. We know how to get oil from Alberta down to Houston, okay? That infrastructure's in place. But if Canada says, no, we don't want a pipeline and we don't want any more integration.
You already have the pipeline. You already have the infrastructure. We didn't stop this agreement. You stopped this agreement.
With the U.S. on oil, it's kind of like, okay, then we'll have to look somewhere else because we are going to be energy dominant.
You are going to be energy dominant by getting oil from other places? Where? No offense, my guy, but where on the planet are you going to go to replace 1.7 billion barrels? I don't mean to accuse you of being fucking delusional. But here's the thing, didn't he mention moving away from oil by going nuclear? You want to know where the uranium is? It's in Australia and it's in Canada. Those are the two places where you're going to get uranium. Canada has some of the purest uranium on the fucking planet. So where are you going to get your fucking goddamn... Where are you going to get your fucking uranium for your nuclear plants? If you're trying to move away from not having to, like, spend 1.7 billion barrels of oil and spending and getting it in Canada. My guy, like, where are you going? Like, where are you gonna go? None of these are even close. 1,000 million. Not even a single other country reaches 1 billion. Not even one. So, my guy, where are you going to go? And if you renegotiate Kuzma with Canada, guess what's going to happen? The oil that you're already importing from Canada is going to get more expensive. Because why not? Why wouldn't it? We already sell our oil to you super cheap as a favor. How do y'all get all the uranium? Geography. It's just where we're at. It just happens to be where the uranium is. Because Canada is a really nice sweet spot. All right, we got tons of lumber. We've got tons of wildlife game. We've got tons of uranium and critical minerals. We've got tons of fucking oil. We've got fucking uranium out the wazoo. We've got potash up here. We got so much goddamn fresh water and lakes. We maxed out our resource spec. That's what we did. the US is not going to be energy dominant if it cannot get self-sufficient. Yeah, no, the United States in the direction that it's headed in is not going to be energy dominant. And the only reason why Pete Hoekstra is even making this statement in the first place is because Mark Carney, our prime minister, has gone around saying that Canada's going to be an energy superpower. And there's literally no reason why Canada shouldn't be an energy superpower in the direction of that the world is going, right? Like, the amount of fucking hydroelectricity that the United States buys from Canada at a discount in this whole coast, this whole spot, this whole northern chunk right here, is this all fucking powered by hydroelectricity. So, like, the only reason he's doing this is to make some kind of comparison, like the United States, like, no. The United States has space to do, like, solar and wind energy, but they're not doing it. They have the space to build nuclear facilities, but they're not doing it. And again, even if they do build nuclear facilities, where are they going to get their uranium from? Are they going to get the uranium from Australia? I'm going back to Google Earth for a second. Sorry, hold on. Let's go back. Reset to north, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so if they get no offense to Australia, because I like Australia. I think Australia is cool. But if our uranium is up in here, and the United States wants uranium, and look at how quick that bloop, bloop, and like, what did he say about already having the infrastructure? Oh, bloop. It's almost like it's like, bloop, it's right there. It's like a little hop, skip, and a jump, and there's all your uranium, guys. As opposed to Australia, which is all the way over here on the other side of the fucking planet. So, not that I don't think that people shouldn't buy uranium from Australia, but it is a lot more energy, a lot more work, a lot more dangerous, and takes a lot more money to be able to transport uranium from Australia to America than it does from Canada to the United States. I feel like these fucking idiots that are running the United States right now just don't understand that geography is a thing. They think it's magic.
They're not saying that right now, though, right?
Who's that?
Like anybody in the federal government or provincially that is in an oil-producing province or the prime minister. I mean, they talk about the prospect of the other version of Keystone. We've seen presidential permits issued on that side of the border, work being done on this side of the border. You even denoted a few weeks ago a bit of a shift in tone from the prime minister and other politicians. Does that have the potential to make any difference moving forward?
If it's consistent. Okay, if it's consistent.
Do you observe it to be so far?
Well, I mean, I think there was a very good response to the Prime Minister's speech in New York. His most recent comments in France raised questions again. There's going to be a new world order. It's going to come out of Europe, and Canada wants to be a part of it. It's kind of like, okay.
Can't that just be noise? If we're supposed to make Donald Trump noise, can't that just be noise?
It's noise. And we have to work through the noise, but we haven't come back and said, okay, yeah, we're not going to do business with Canada. We're still saying.
Canada didn't say we're not going to do business with the United States. That's not what we said. That's not what we said at all. That's definitively not what anybody said. Hi, welcome.
We are willing to do business with Canada. We want to do business with Canada. It could be noise. And then part of my job is to interpret it and present it back to the president and say, they really do want to do business with us. But at the same time, there are questions that are raised in terms of do they? There was just a defense contract that U.S. companies couldn't even bid on. It's kind of like...
Yeah, because your president said you were going to sell faulty shit that was worse than yours. You're literally saying you're going to scum everybody. So why would anybody want to even bother with your fucking companies at all? Like, what do you mean? It's so ridiculous. Tom in the chat says, this might sound weird, but I would respect him more if he was more direct about what he actually believes and less wishy-washy. I agree. I have far more respect for people who are truthful and consistent. Pete Hoekstra cannot be either of those things. Because as much as he just said, oh, well, it would need to be consistent, he is literally the mouthpiece in Canada for one of the most inconsistent presidents that the United States has ever seen, if not the most. And the only person he's competing with is himself from his first term. So, like, I don't like Pete Hoekstra, and he's got a shit job.
Okay, that's a problem.
I'm glad you brought
Is
that,
it?
brought that up, if you don't mind, Ambassador, because I did want to ask about the F-35s. You rightly pointed out last time we met, in our first interview,
I try to do everything rightfully, even though I'm wrong so often.
No, you
Shut up.
around NORAD, right? And
Yeah.
whether or not, we're still, it's funny because that was almost a year ago, and we're still talking about whether or not Canada will proceed with the F-35s. It's been well over a year that review has been underway. There's some reporting now that they'll still proceed with the order, but add an order for the Gripens. How does the U.S. view that? And is NORAD in jeopardy with this decision?
I think that's actually a good question, and I feel like this is a question that Pete Hoekstra should be able to actually answer, like, just straightly. I don't think he's going to, but I think this is, like, a question he should be able to do. On the other hand, I've talked about this before, but I will point it out here. I am of the opinion that I think Canada and the Canadian government, the federal government, is purposefully dragging its feet on the F-35 deal. It's not that they haven't made a decision. It's that we haven't made a decision. We need to review everything to make sure we're doing what's best for Canadians. And they're just dragging their feet. They're just standing there, like, hands up, getting dragged across the floor with their feet on like a toddler. That's what's happening. And there are reasons why I think this is a good idea. I'm in agreement with doing that, but anybody who I feel like if you think that Canada is just waffling, I think you've missed what's going on. They are purposefully dragging their feet and dragging it out intentionally.
The one decision will not kill NORAD, okay? What we look at is a whole series of decisions that say, if you buy fighters that don't integrate with the latest technology and the best airplane in the world, they don't really count as full airplanes. They're
What? The latest American technology. Are the F-35s the best plane in the world? Since this, we bought German subs and Norwegian missiles. Good point, Jason. Good point. Like, see, Canada could be moving on the F-35 deal, but for some reason we're not. We also bought the surveillance program from Australia for the Arctic. It's almost like Canada's been moving pretty hard on its military, but for some reason I can't possibly understand why we're dragging our feet on the F-35s. What do you mean they don't really count as full airplanes? Are you just saying that if, like, Canada wouldn't be meeting its like NORAD spending agreements if we don't buy your products? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying, and that sounds like horse shit. That sounds like that's not part of the deal. It sounds like I've altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. Oh, okay.
They're capable and all that, but if they don't link to an F-35, that's a problem.
Why?
If you buy surveillance or spy planes that don't integrate with NORAD or the U.S., okay, that becomes an issue. If you say you want to protect the Arctic by yourselves, okay, that says, well, okay, then are we changing the boundaries and the scope of the work that NORAD? Those are things that we have, that you work through with discussions and those kinds of things.
Okay.
When did Canada ever say it wanted to protect the Arctic by itself? Are we also going to just skip over that Donald Trump was trying to do a protection racket with his golden dome that he was gonna, we're gonna build a wall and Mexico's gonna pay for it. And, we're gonna build a golden dome and Canada's gonna pay for it. Like, does the United States, does Pete Hoekstra, do people in the United States understand that you cannot do NORAD without Canada, that the United States' missile defense systems from a northern-facing attack do not work without Canada? Like, they do not function? I mean literally. This isn't figurative rhetorical language. I mean, you literally cannot fucking do it. It literally, like, it doesn't function. Do they not know this? Is this not something Americans are aware of? Does it... NATO exists. NATO still exists for now, yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed, but underneath the umbrella of NATO, there's been a handful of, like, handshaking agreements between other countries that are excluding the United States. Or, like, the United States has not been involved in. So, like, Germany and Canada, the Nordic countries and Canada, Australia and Canada, the EU and Canada, France and Canada. Like, there's been a lot of this, like, you know, things like the what is it called? The something of the willing. I can't remember. It's not the something of the willing, which is related to Israel and Palestine. There's also, like, all the stuff going on with Ukraine and Canada and Poland and Canada. We're going to see what Hungary's about to do since they just flipped their government, so we'll see what that looks like in a little while. Like none of these things involve the United States, or they involve the United States as a coalition. Thank you, the coalition of the willing. There's like the United States exists and it's over here, and everybody's like, yeah. Anyway, so it's like this is what's going on.
I'm going to leave it on that note. I've taken enough of your time. Thank you, Ambassador. A pleasure. I appreciate you making the time for it.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
The end. We did it. Congratulations. Yippee, everybody. So Pete Hoekstra's an idiot. He continues to be an idiot. The things he say makes it either seem like he's lying or he doesn't know what he's talking about. His understanding of geopolitics seems shallow at best. His understanding of Canadians seems next to non-existent, in my humble opinion. Like, he does not understand, like, Canadians culturally, which is a really bad thing to be when you're a representative of another country in the country that you don't understand. Childish. Yeah, Pete Hoekstra is childish. His tonality, his understanding, his tit-for-tat style of trying to insult Canada while pretending he's not. It's like, yeah, we get it. We know. It's fine. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right, I'm going to take a break. Are you guys going to be ready for another one after this? I probably should have changed the title of the stream because we got another one to do. And guess who it is? It's our best buddy. It's our best buddy, Pierre Poilievre. Yay!
Prime Minister.
So this is from 2 weeks ago, this one. But I'm going to take a break first. I'm going to go get a drink. I'm going to put a beer in the fridge because I know I'm going to need one. It's going to happen. Like and subscribe, and I'll be right back, I guess. It could be a wee. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright. Welcome back. I changed my mind. I got ice. I got fancy iced lemon water. Oh, thank you for the stretch. I will take that. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. I didn't think this stupidity could get any worse, and then she said Pierre Poilievre. Yeah, I know. I know, it do be like that. It do be like that. Are you guys ready? Okay, are you guys ready for this? Oh, thanks. Thanks for the save state. I'm not that, you know. In Quebec, Eric is getting a lot of media attention. Have to keep an eye on that. He's a Trump bootlicker. Oh, really? Well, maybe I'll look into him after this. Remind me when we get to the end of this. So this is from a couple of weeks ago. He's doing it. This rosy-cheeked young man is interviewing Pierre Poilievre. So let's just go. Let's just jump into this.
Tomorrow, what would you do in your first 90 days?
I would pass a lot of legislation almost on an emergency basis to turn the country around.
You asked him multiple times in the House of Commons.
That's terrifying. That's actually terrifying.
If we were in a technical recession or a real recession.
Image does not stand up to scrutiny. The illusion of Mark Carney is far superior to the reality of Mark Carney.
Do you believe there should be public disclosure or a formal investigation into whether anything was offered, positions, promises, incentives, or future opportunities in exchange for the individuals who floor crossed?
They ultimately betrayed the people that voted for them, and I think they will be held accountable.
What is your take on what just took place in these online censorship bills?
They want to control your thoughts, your religious beliefs. They want to be able to have the capacity to surveil people's online activities.
Courts are now wrestling with whether Aboriginal title can coexist with privately held fee simple land. What is your position?
That fee simple must take priority. Once it is granted, then it must be final.
If you became Prime Minister, how long do you think it would take for young Canadians before they could realistically start entering the housing market again?
I think within a term in office, it's reasonable and realistic to expect that home ownership would normalize again for young people.
Politics can ask a lot from a family. What has this journey...
This is aggressive right out the gate.
been like for your wife and children? And if they were sitting here today and I asked them what it's cost them, what do you think they'd say?
It's cost them a lot.
Canada feels more deeply divided now.
That doesn't answer the... What would they say that they've lost? A lot. Oh, okay.
Regionally, politically, economically, and culturally. How on earth would you go about bringing this country back together?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to pause it again already, but the epic doom music is I think it's supposed to elicit like, oh my god, it's so powerful, and oh, the things are in such a bad shape, but this guy's gonna save us. And all I'm thinking of, do you just think that Pierre Poilievre's positions are like doom-worthy? Like, is he a horror show? Is that what you're trying to portray here? May, largest Canadian trade surplus in 4 years, but we need to turn around. PP, go back to being a paperboy and save the politics for adults. Home ownership stuff has been changed a lot too recently. The rental market has come down and housing prices have come down in recent months, particularly in the Toronto area, which is one of the bigger places hit by the housing crisis. Melodrama. Yeah, melodrama is a good way to put it.
Pierre Poilievre, this is an absolute privilege to sit down.
You are not gonna play this music the whole interview, are you? Please tell me it's...
With you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Chief.
I want to start by just asking, if you became Prime Minister tomorrow, what would you do in your first 90 days?
Well, I would pass a lot of legislation almost on an emergency basis to turn the country around. Let's start with the economy. I would immediately pass an economic rescue plan that would include eliminating all the anti-development laws like C-69, the anti-development law, the which blocks pipelines and gums up mines. I'd get rid of the ban on shipping oil off the northwest coast of BC by repealing C-69. I'd repeal the industrial carbon tax. And I would also institute some major reductions in the cost of the bureaucracy, the consultants, the foreign aid, the corporate welfare programs, the handouts to fake and phony refugees. You'd have to act on all of those things immediately in order to start turning the ship around.
Okay. You're a prime minister, not a president, and also not a dictator. You don't just get to do that. Yeah, Feline caught me. Chesh be like, hold up, Feline, don't get ahead of me. I just wanted to let Poilievre get his thought out before I jumped in on this. Okay. He would do what Trump did. Yeah, he's basically what he's saying. He would basically enact emergency powers that he doesn't have unjustifiably, to utilize power that he doesn't really have, to dictate a bunch of laws and changes to things that don't need to be changed and are boogeymen in some cases. Theoretically, a president is supposed to do that either. I know. You guys are struggling. I'm sorry. Okay. He wouldn't be able to do most of what he's saying. So, like, even if you are a conservative who likes Pierre Poilievre and you support this idea, he's still selling you bullshit. Like, he can't do most of these things that he's saying. He doesn't have the power to do this. That's just not how our government structure works. There are also no anti-development laws in Canada. That's not real. He made that up. There are restrictions and policies that you need to follow to get access to do certain development, depending on what it is, but that is not anti-development. That is just safety regulations that are about, the safety of the people of where you're building, the safety of the local ecology of the area. It's not a carte blanche. You can just build whatever you want, wherever you want, which seems to be what Poilievre is proposing. And I think most people would disagree with that policy. If you don't believe me, there's a town in Quebec that has had an incredibly long fight with Nestle because Nestle wrecked their water wells and most of the city uses well water. So I recommend checking that out. Saying you're going to eliminate and ignore foreign policy is a terrible idea. Like, I don't know why you think that would be a good idea. So if somebody out here is a conservative or somebody out here is support of Pierre Poilievre, can you explain to me and justify why this is something you would want? Like, what is the positive thing going on here that he's suggesting? And I feel like I've already forgotten one of the insane things that he said. Invoking emergency powers that he doesn't have. Okay, let's just keep going. Turn the ship around to go where is the next question I would have. Like, where do you want us to go?
And then I would introduce...
Oh, sorry, one more thing before I move on. His thing about housing. Pierre Poilievre was part of the housing minister that under Stephen Harper, and except for I think maybe 2 times, he has voted against affordable housing. Every single time he's voted against it. There might have been 2 times where he voted positively, but I didn't look close enough at the bill to know whether or not they would actually help or not. So, check his voting record to see what his stances are when he actually votes about affordable housing, because it's constantly against it. So,
all of those things immediately in order to start turning the ship around. And then I would introduce also an emergency anti-crime law to reverse all the all the sort of soft on crime liberal laws that have come forward.
Such as what? What's a soft on crime liberal law? Such as what?
The last decade, and bring in tough criminal justice policies into the statutes that will lock up the criminals. I think you could do all of those things in the first 90 days, and if I were Prime Minister, I would.
Fascinating.
you cannot do those things in the first 90 days. Should I pull up the crime rate again? I feel like I should just have this fucking pulled up every time we talk about Pierre Poilievre. Every single time. Where's the violent crime index? Data and tables. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Police reported. Oh, crime severity index. Loading. Loading. Eh. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Where's the thing I'm looking for? Hate organized and cybercrime and hate organized and cybercrime in Canada. I'm just kind of curious about this. What is reported number? Blah blah blah. This isn't what I'm looking for. Where's what I'm looking for? Where is it? Where you be? Police reported incidents, maybe? I don't want the Geo Explorer, man. I want the. I just want the graph. I want the. Where's the graph? I swear to God, is the graph in the Wikipedia? Am I crazy? Lol. Homicides in Canada in 2024. Where's the graph? Where's my graph? God damn it. I'll find it. I'll find it. It's in here somewhere. Go back. Oh, I closed the window. Oh, I'm a fool. I'm a fool! Data. Data. Give me data. Census, income, labor. Crime. Crime. Oh, I can search by vectors. I'm not gonna lie, the Canadian website, like the Government of Canada's website, is actually low-key pretty good. Property and drug-related crime. Statistics. Adult crime court. Like, I just want to point out, by the way, like, this website is fucking crazy, man. It's got lots of shit going on in it. Look at all this. Isn't that neat? Look at that. Surveys, legal problems, incident-based crime statistics by detailed violations, provinces, territories. I mean, very cool, but not what I'm looking for. Okay, hold on. Incident-based crime statistics. This one I'm looking for? I want it in a chart. Give me a goddamn chart, you piece of shit. You guys know this chart that I'm talking about, too. Crime severity index. No. I mean, these indexes are cool, but they're not quite what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find the graph that barely moves. I forget where it is. Historical chart data? Chart. 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 Crime rate statistics. Haha, crime rate per 100,000 population for 2023 was 1.98, a 12.86 decline from 2022. Look. It went down. You see how, like, look at how flat this line is. That is not, like, this is the biggest jump, but, like, that's 1991. But, like, it's on a downward trend. And then it comes back up a little bit, but it's still downward trending. 2.36, 2.27. We know tough on crime doesn't work. Yeah. Annual change. Up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. Up a little bit. Neutral. Up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And, like, we know that 2020 had, like, an increase because there was a bunch of shit that happened during fucking COVID. Right? Then there's regional rankings. Fucking hell, man. Let's see if this... Where does this go? Yeah, there you go. Look, it's right there. Specifically the crime rates. Ta-da. There's your data. You're welcome. I feel like this is still not quite what I was looking for, though. There was another one. Left, right, left, right. 2 up, 2 down, left, right, B, A, start. Is what it is. By the way, if you care. Nah. Where are you? Where's my statistics? Crime statistics. Ah. Nope. 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 I'll find it. I'm pretty sure it's in the Discord somewhere. Incident-based crime, detailed violations. No, that's not. I already looked at that one. Police in 2023. Ah, ho ho! I found it. Here it is. Hey, volume and severity of police-reported crime in Canada, as measured by the Crime Severity Index. Third consecutive year, up 2% in 2023. The annual change. Pause this. Hold on. Crime Severity Index Canada, up 2.1% annual change. Alright, next one. Police reported crime rate per 100,000 population, 2.5%. 0.4% annual change for violent crime severity. That's the biggest one! Give me the charts. Give me that chart. Look at that chart. You see how low this is? This is 1998. This is 2023 right here. My god. Where's the other chart? Where's the other chart I was looking for? Give me the other. Give me. Give me the other chart. Where are you? Look at this one. This is the one I was talking about. Look at this chart. Look at how low. Look at this non-changing chart. Look at how low this is. 967, 896, 791, 971, 1000. It like in 1991, 92, the early 90s, it was in the thousands, and it has not hit 1,000 again yet. But you see how flat this line is? This is what they're describing as like a spike in criminality. Oh, we have to be so tough on crime. The reason I'm focusing, by the way, on this light blue line is because that is violent crime, specifically. Property crime is up here. Property crime's way down here. What do you mean? Look at how low this is. This has come down 80s, 90s, 2000s. This is not some, like, epidemic of there's so much crime happening in Canada. This isn't a thing. It's just, it's made up. It's made up nonsense. We gotta do it to him. We gotta pull up the chart every time. This man.
You're an individual I find that people have different perspectives on, vastly different perspectives. Your supporters see you as bringing much needed change. I think that one of the challenges we have in a democracy is the Conservatives haven't had a voice federally for a very long time now. And so...
That's not true. That's not even a little bit true. Isn't that just insulting to Pierre Poilievre, though? He's been the opposition for, like, a long time. So how is being the opposition in a minority government not the Conservatives having a voice in federal government? Can anybody answer me that question?
people who are conservative feel very frustrated about where we are. And then you have people on the left who see you as a very divisive individual. Where do you think those misunderstandings and misrepresentations come from?
Feline is pointing out that keep in mind that the chart is, even though it's showing 100,000, the fact that there are more people also gives a higher probability of more bad people, which each can do more instances of crime.
Well, they're very deliberate. It's obviously the liberal media and liberal establishment, which has enormous funds and share of voice, are threatened by change. They have made a fortune. They have gained power and wealth over the last 10 years, making other people poor. I mean, it's been a great time to be a liberal lobbyist, a liberal consultant, a liberal corporate welfare bum.
My guy, you live off of the taxpayer dollar in a mansion with a personal chef that is paid for by taxpayers. And then you get the taxpayers to pay for your campaigning and your travel, and you're going to lift kettlebells with Joe Rogan. Did the taxpayers pay for the fucking Joe Rogan face kettlebell? Because I want my money back. My guy. My dude. My guy. Are you serious? This is the man who proposed, like, seriously proposed, buy one, get one housing to solve the housing fucking crisis.
You're well connected to the government. You've probably made millions and millions of dollars over the last 10 years, effectively ripping
Name one.
Off the taxpayer and the Canadian working class.
Sorry, besides yourself. I set the bar too low. You have to name one that's not yourself.
Millions and millions of dollars over the last 10 years, effectively ripping off the taxpayer and the Canadian working class. And they see me coming along, threatening that to end the party for them and put the people back in charge of the government. And so they're going to use every megaphone they have to disparage and defame me. And so
you're accusing people of defaming you? So here's the thing. The Liberal Party in Canada, for anybody who doesn't know Canada's political spectrum, there are multiple left-leaning parties, and there's basically only one conservative party on the right. So there is like a far extremist party that has sort of umbrellaed itself underneath the Conservative Party. There is also the Bloc Québécois, but the Bloc Québécois is specifically in Quebec, so they don't have influence across all of Canada, and they do not want to have influence across all of Canada. They are specifically by Quebec for Quebec. That's what they don't even want, like, the leader of Quebecois doesn't want to be prime minister. Just to give you that understanding. There used to be two parties that were that made up the right side of the political spectrum in Canada, and it was two different conservative parties, and they formed a coalition, which is one of the reasons why, how, and the reason why it lasted so long that Stephen Harper was in power for a decade, was because the Conservative Party coalesced itself into one mega block, like voting block. The left has not done that. The Liberal Party, the NDP, the Green Party are the three main left-leaning political parties in Canada, and they have remained separate. They have formed coalitions and agreements in the past when they've had when the Liberals have had a minority government under Trudeau, for example. They worked with the NDP to be like, hey, we want to pass this thing. What do you want? We can pass this thing. You can work together, and then the Conservatives won't be able to stop us from pushing this thing forward in Parliament, because that is how politics works. That's how politics is supposed to work. So when Pierre Poilievre says, oh, there hasn't been any conservative government representation in the federal government, when his party that he was leading was actively preventing the minority leadership during Justin Trudeau's time, when they had a minority government, that they had to go to the NDP to get this coalition in the first place, I don't see how that's not conservative representation. There were more progressive conservatives before this coalition, yes, and in my opinion, what I seem to have noticed or observed, and you can correct me or let me know if you disagree, that the far right authoritarian extremists have sort of overtaken and co-opted otherwise decent people who just think that they're voting for like a classic conservative when that's definitively not what's going on. Regardless, the conservatives are trying to drag the political spectrum to the right to make extremism seem more reasonable. But the followers must seem besieged. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, Pierre Poilievre has also known to be in favor of or supporting paid shills that were slandering Justin Trudeau when he was prime minister at the time, including things like the trucker convoy that you can find Pierre Poilievre going to, and these are extremist groups that have definitively been funded by both Russia and found to have ties with India. We've talked about not too long ago. We talked about YouTube channels that were being created in Norwegian countries and Denmark that were paying people to make bullshit videos, falsely inflating ideas and extremist ideas in Canada to make it seem like this separatist movement in Alberta, for example, is bigger than it is. But we didn't find out where that money was coming from yet, or at least it hasn't been announced. So we'll see. By the way, I really don't think it's a good idea for Pierre Poilievre or anybody supporting Pierre Poilievre to have ideas or speak on foreign policy because he doesn't have his security clearance, so he can't possibly form a reasonable position without having the information.
So it's been a very deliberate, consistent campaign by the Liberal Club of lobbyists, corporate power brokers, and insiders that want to stop me from putting the people back in charge of the government. And
Mark Carney has like a massive approval rating. Like his approval rating is almost unheard of. Let's check real quick. Ooh, here you go. Large majority of Canadians approve of Mark Carney. Look at these fucking numbers. This is consistently over 65% approval. That's massive. That's a massive lead. I will also remind you that when Trump took office and started shit-talking Canada as 51st state, 90% plus of Canadians were pissed and did not like that. So what makes you think that Canadians who have a 95 or had like a 90% approval rating for being like, fuck Donald Trump, want to vote in somebody who says, well, I'm just going to do what Donald Trump did. You can see how well that's working out, right?
And so that's where the misunderstanding comes from, to answer your question directly.
That also ties in with the last election, where one of the pieces of comment...
People who don't like me are just stupid and are being lied to.
Also ties in with the last election, where one of the pieces of commentary was around the fact that there were so many government employees within your district. How do you reflect on that loss and what that means as you continue to talk about some of these issues that aren't supported by many people in Ottawa who are employed by
Well, I don't regret...
Too long didn't read. Pierre Poilievre lost his own riding and had to take a beloved person from another riding's seat. So, in a whole other province.
Telling the truth. I mean, the reality is we have far too much bureaucracy in this country. Under the Liberal government, the bureaucracy ballooned by 50% in bodies and about 60% in cost. Do
you have a citation for those numbers? Can you tell me what the citation is for these numbers? Oh, did we hook one? Sam Bozo in the chat said, what has the Prime Minister, meaning Mark Carney, done that is standing up to Trump? He's caved on everything. Why don't we have a Kuzma deal then, Sam? And why is the F-35 deal not gone through? If Mark Carney has caved on everything related to the United States. It's okay, I can wait. I can go get my jangly keys if you need me to. It's okay, Sam. I know there's a delay. Take your time. My source is that I made it the fuck up. I didn't know Kim Jong-un had spoken English so well. Yeah, Pierre Poilievre aged pretty quick there. We are getting F-35. Are we? Are we? Are we getting the original deal that was made, or are we getting a different version of it? What's the current status of that? Do you know? Why don't we have a Kuzma agreement? Yep. What about the Golden Dome? How's that looking? How's the Golden Dome looking? What about the tariff prices on dairy products? If the PM has folded to everything, how's that looking? Can you name one thing? Can you name one? Why doesn't Pierre Poilievre have his clearance? That's a different question. That's a different question. Let Sam answer these things first, and then we'll get into that. Because telling me why you don't like Mark Carney doesn't tell me why I should like Pierre Poilievre. Those are separate questions. It's okay, I'll wait. I can vibe, I got time. I'm gonna get more water in a minute. 5,000,000% tariff on dairy. $100 billion. It's fucking laughable. Where'd that Doom music go? I want the Doom music back. I regret my wanting the Doom music gone. I take it back. Put that back. Bring it back. They switched to the Swiss Gripen fighter, didn't they? So there's no we're dragging our feet is short answer. Jason says we're getting the original order of F-35s we committed to that was never proposed to be canceled. The remaining numbers are the ones that are on hold. Oh, really? Fascinating. Imagine that. So how is that folding to pressure from Donald Trump, who is trying to force us to buy more? Hey, there's talk of getting the Gripen, though. What about buying subs from Germany? How is that folding instead of buying things from the United States military conduct? No? Where is Sam? Did you leave? Sam, come back. Sam, hey. Man, he ran out quick. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. That was fast. Swedish? Oh, right. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you for the correction. Swedish. All right, go on. Oh, right. We citation needed him. I would normally do the work if I had any idea where he was pulling this from. I would go find it, but honestly, I'm not sure what the fuck he's referring to. So I'm gonna need him to give me a citation so I can verify his 50% and 60% bureaucracy issue. Because, I keep seeing this guy bring up that bureaucracy is a problem, but he has never really actually laid it out. You know what I mean?
It grew about 4 times faster than the population and roughly 4 times faster than the economy. And I believe we needed to cut back on the bureaucracy because there's no free lunch. You can't balloon the bureaucracy unless you're prepared to raise taxes on the working people who fund it. And I'm not. I want to put money.
You know, you could tax rich people. That you could do that and not tax the working class. You could tax the billionaires you're complaining about. Do you have a plan to tax the billionaires you're bitching about? You're bitching about all these liberals made all this money. Are you going to tax them at the certain tax bracket if you have that much money? Is that what you're going to do? Because that would be cool. I'd be down for that. That sounds neato burrito.
Back in the pockets of people who actually do productive things and work hard. I want young people to be able to keep more of their paycheck, to own a home. I want moms and dads to be able to afford food. I want seniors to be able to retire with dignity, but they can't do that when they're carrying around this morbidly obese bureaucracy on their backs. I made, perhaps it was the political mistake of telling that truth during an election campaign while serving as an MP in an Ottawa riding. But, I mean, the alternative is just to be a liar and claim that we can, balloon the bureaucracy without charging you more. And that's, I don't feel comfortable lying to the Canadian people. So I told the truth.
This guy is very comfortable lying to the Canadian people. I'm just going to point out the fact that he's said that he doesn't feel comfortable lying already like 4 times in the past, 3 minutes should probably be a little bit indicative of something, don't you think?
I paid the price, but I bounced back and I don't regret it.
Did you?
I'm excited.
Whoa, hold on. Has he bounced back? How? In what way? This dude's approval rating is in the bin. Nobody likes this guy. His own party doesn't fucking like him. What the fuck do you mean?
Ask you this question. We asked ChatGPT to compare your December 20.
Can we just skip the we asked ChatGPT part? We asked ChatGPT, did Pierre Poilievre bounce back? ? All right, fine, go ahead.
I'm excited to ask you this question. We asked ChatGPT to compare your December 2025 interview with Donna Friesen to her interview with Mark Carney.
Hey, you know what I did? That. I didn't ask ChatGPT, though. I actually just watched both of them and then compared and contrasted them. A human.
It found that Carney was asked serious policy questions, but he was mostly questioned as a prime minister managing very, very difficult files. Your interview focused much more on whether you had failed, whether your leadership was a problem, whether Canadians had rejected you, and whether your caucus was falling apart.
Yeah, because there's no value in asking him anything about stuff he has no fucking business or power to do anything about, because he's not the prime minister. Why would we ask Pierre Poilievre prime minister questions when he's not the prime minister?
Hear that. What are your takeaways?
Well, first of all, I think Donna Friesen should ask if the viewers have rejected her when you look at...
Wow, good comeback, PP. Oh my god. Do we have to do the is this underlying misogyny? We gotta get the scale going. He literally can't. Oh, you're right, Victoria. He can't. He cannot handle any amount. This guy is such a baby. Jesus.
The state of chorus media. I'm
sorry, is the state of chorus media reliant on one woman doing one interview? Are you serious? Oh my god, he's doing the media, the mainstream liberal media. They were mean to me.
The reality is that there's a big illusion about Mark Carney. He has failed at everything he's done.
That's a big claim. That's a big claim that immediately shoots itself in the foot when you said, didn't he try to become prime minister and succeeded at becoming prime minister? So even if that's the only thing you measure, he was against you, so how bad does that mean you failed? I would like to remind you that Pierre Poilievre had a 38-point lead Yes, in the chat. You guys fucking look at it. Everything? Didn't he beat you? Brother, no.
But managed to fail upwards afterwards. You know, like as the governor of the Bank of England, he caused the worst inflation in the G7 and a housing.
What are you talking about? That's not. Okay.
Crisis in London. Then he went on to be a corporate power broker where his job was to harvest a bunch of government handouts for corporate insiders and then put the money in offshore tax havens. And then he was Trudeau's economic advisor, wherein he
was Harper's economic advisor, the conservative leader, who was a conservative leader for like 8 to 10 years during the 2008 financial crisis. He was the governor of the Bank of Canada. Oh my god. I was falling asleep here, but that 5-star dummy shit woke me up.
helped double housing costs, food bank lineups, and the national debt. All his advice was followed, and we know that because his advice is public in his book. And then he became prime minister.
You know that he wrote a book doesn't mean it's the same advice that he gave to a prime minister, right? Like those are, that one is a book, one is like, okay, never mind. He's just going to conflate those things.
And what has he done in that role? He's given us the only recession in the G7.
Well, okay, we've checked on that one, and that one's not quite true. So I'll skip that one for now because we've already talked about it. But the I do just want to point out that one of the biggest things that Pierre Poilievre ran on was axing a tax and getting rid of carbon tax. And his first day in office, the first thing that Mark Carney did was axe the carbon tax, the consumer carbon tax. That happened. So if you want to say he failed at everything, he literally did the thing that you wanted him to do, and then you bitched about it. Does he understand cause and effect? No.
The fastest food price inflation, the worst household debt, and
so this is half true. The food price inflation, we've looked at this in the past. The food price inflation is half correct on. We do have a higher inflation rate right now than some of the other countries in the G7. However, our amount is, like, it's coming down and others are going up. Do you understand what I'm saying? So to be clear, our inflation rate is here, which is higher than, say, another country over here. But ours got here by coming down and theirs got here by going up. So their inflation is rising, ours is coming down. But ours is still technically right now higher than these ones. So the inflation rate is falling, as opposed to other countries in the G7 where the inflation rate is rising. Also, the US has worse household debt. Yes, the United States has worse household debt than Canada does, but like some of these numbers are just, he has no citations for these. He's just making it up.
And yet the media doesn't ask him questions about his actual results.
Yes, they do. We were literally watching them asking him about housing projects and what is going on and what his plans are for these projects. Particularly, like, that's just a lie. That's just
they just lob softballs at him so that he can regurgitate the same promises he's been breaking his entire career. And frankly,
what are you talking about? Which career? His banking career or his political career? Because his political career started last year. Brexit didn't cause inflation. It was Carney at the Bank of England. Oh, you mean when Carney was at the Bank of England saying, "Don't do Brexit. This is a terrible idea," and then doing his best to set the UK up to survive through Brexit as best as he could before his term was up and he left?
He's been wrong about every single major economic issue of the last decade.
You notice how he has to say the last decade instead of the last 2 decades? The reason he has to say the last decade instead of the last 2 decades is because, again, Stephen Harper tapped Mark Carney to help with the 2008 financial crisis. Who restricts reporters' questions? Good point, Red Cedar. Mark Carney does not restrict the questions coming from the media. Pierre Poilievre limits who's allowed to be there and what questions they're allowed to ask. And then half the time he doesn't even answer those.
On the other hand, I mean, I wish the media would ask more about the issues that affect people's lives, because I'm the only one who's been talking about how we can unblock home building so young people can afford homes, or get the taxes and the red tape off food production so folks can afford groceries.
Are we seriously ignoring that Mark Carney put forward a tax rebate credit for groceries recently? Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, CGEB. The Canadian Groceries and Essentials Benefit replaced the GST/HST credit in July of 2026 under its new name. The eligibility, payment calculation, and structures is the same as it was for the GST/HST credit. The benefit provides a tax-free quarterly payment to individuals and families with low and modest incomes to help manage and manage the rising costs of everyday essentials. In July of 2026, there's a 25% increase to the benefit amount, to which will remain for 5 years from 2026 to 2031. When you file your taxes, you are automatically considered for the benefit and any related provincial and territorial programs. Do you need me to read this to you again? Do you need me to read that out loud again? Come here. The benefit provides tax-free quarterly payments to individuals and families with low and modest incomes to help manage the rising costs of everyday essentials. In July 2026, there was a 25% increase to the benefit amount, which will remain for 5 years from 2026 to 2031. When you file your taxes, you are automatically considered for the benefit and any related provincial and territorial programs. Does this solve the problem? No, it's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid. There's a reason why it goes for 5 years. It takes time for things to happen. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Is how we can bring back sound money and let people afford their lives again. And those are the kinds of questions that, I mean, you know, I was just watching on YouTube the other day. There was a guy who went on and said he watched my interview of his Diary of the CEO.
Oh man, he was watching YouTube, guys. Fuck. Does that sound insanely silly to anybody else? Does that sound... I was watching YouTube. He said he watched my interview.
On YouTube the other day, there was a guy who went on and said he watched my interview of his Diary of the CEO. And he said he, in that one interview, had gone from being a Pierre Poilievre hater to being a strong, ardent supporter in one interview. And the reason...
citation needed. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think you think this is bullshit.
You lie! You lie!
We'll play the clip. There's no way. There's no way. No. I want to see the interview. Diary of a CEO. What the fuck is this guy, Pierre Poilievre, doing on a show called Diary of a CEO? What have you been the CEO of, dude? You're a career politician. How come you have so much money?
The explanation was that he had never heard my message. He had heard things said about me by the liberal media and the liberal establishment and believed them all. And then when he actually heard me talk for half an hour unfiltered, he said, wow, that's what he believes? That's his plan? That's what I...
All right, let me find it. Hold on. No. Diary of a CEO. I'm gonna go find it. You're not gonna tell us who the fucking guy was? Diary of a CEO. Pierre Poilievre. R.E. There we go. Oh my god, it's this. I've gotten this as an ad so many times.
replacing and rendering them.
But I keep getting this as an ad that comes up. And it's really fucking annoying where it just starts playing. You want to know why this is so far into this, even though I've never watched it? I had something playing on my phone when I went to sleep. And when I woke up with this fucking shit on. So I guess, if elected in 2029, here's how Pierre Poilievre... So if there's any question about whether or not this guy would have... Why does he look like he's getting fucking interrogated in a fucking beat cop movie? Alright, well, next time on Dragon Ball Z, we'll come back and watch this. But for now, I guess we're doing this one.
I support. That's what I've always wanted. And so one of my biggest political challenges is to get through this incredible filter.
Some guy on YouTube, he was able to convince them, I guess. One guy on YouTube.
Of liberal
allegedly
interest groups that basically see their role as propagandizing for the Liberal Party and against me. And
oh my god, that is you. That is literally just you during the convoys.
I'm determined to keep doing that.
Well, I appreciate you being willing to do this interview today, because I think that's how a lot of independent journalists, independent media figures feel, is we're up against those same establishments where politicians are just used to going on to CTV, Global News, CBC to get their message out. And so people on the outside who don't have the same questions, who aren't going to follow the same line, have a tougher time trying to get in because people are just so used to the inertia of going through those processes. So I just want
to... This isn't an excuse to not go on those shows, though, just to be clear. But on the other hand, I don't mind that fucking this guy wants to go on these shows. I don't really care that Pierre Poilievre decided to go on Joe Rogan, outside of it's a questionable decision, and like he said a bunch of really dumb, misleading stuff. But like, you guys think this is gonna be softball questions the whole time? You guys think this is gonna be softballs the whole way down?
Quickly thank you, but also thank your team for organizing all of this, because it's a huge privilege to ask you questions I don't feel like you get asked enough.
Right. Well, listen, I think we need to do more of this. We need to democratize political discussion in this country. Far too often, those who have a vested interest, a conflict of interest, are given the microphone and told that they can espouse their agenda. They have too much sway. Those are the people who, you look at the major political talk shows, who do they bring on as commentators? Lobbyists. These lobbyists have an interest in being liked by the government because they make money off lobbying the government. So you think they're going to say anything that is hostile to the people in power? Of course not. And so, they're not.
This is such a slippery slope. All this is slippery slope nonsense. We can basically skip this. It doesn't have any weight to what he said. Like, this doesn't actually have any weight. This is rich coming from Pierre Poilievre, who has been invited on these shows and then refuses to answer questions. He goes on places like he was on with what's his face? Fucking Jordan Peterson, right?
We're not going to criticize a minister on Monday and then go lobby him on Tuesday. But so often it's the club that dominates the discourse in this country.
This is nonsense.
And that's why so many other people, the people who do the work in Canada, feel left behind.
I couldn't agree more. I want to ask a personal question.
Yes.
Politics can ask a lot from a family. What has this journey been like for your wife and children? And if they were sitting here today and I asked them what it's cost them, what do you think they'd say?
I think it's cost them a lot. I mean, yesterday I went.
That wasn't the question. What do you think they would say? You saying, I think it cost them a lot, isn't you saying what you think they think. That's saying what you think. The reason I'm picking on this is because the fucking amount of illiteracy online and in the public discourse right now is fucking infuriating to me. If I asked you, hey, what does your mom think about something? And you say, well, I think my mom makes lots of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And my question is, what does your mom think about all the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches she makes? You're not answering the question. The question is, what do you think your mom thinks? Not what do you think about your mom? To me, this indicates a very selfish thought process. Somebody asks you about somebody else and you immediately start talking about yourself. I didn't ask you about you. I asked you about somebody else. I asked you what you think about this person. What do you think this person thinks about this? I'm not asking about what you think about it. I'm asking what they think about it. What do you think they think? Not what do you think? It's annoying. I don't like it.
To the, just for, you know, for people who might watch this later on,
on
Sunday is Father's Day. It's Friday now, so it's two days from now, but I won't be home for Father's Day. So
yeah, because you're out fucking campaigning, which is your own choice. Nobody's forcing you to do that. You're doing that on your own. In fact, people dislike that you're doing this on our taxpayer dollar.
My wife showed up at the airport with my kids. She took them straight from daycare and school to the airport to send me off with a nice Father's Day card in advance, in expectation that I won't see them on that very special day. So I'm away a lot. It's very hard on the kids. You know, they're young, and they work. I work very hard, but that's not a problem. The sacrifice of being away from the kids is the hardest part. And my wife is a real champion. She steps up to replace a lot of the contributions that I would normally have been making. And we're very blessed to have extended family. My wife is Latina. When you marry a Latina, you marry the whole family. And that brings...
I would like to point out that there is questions and rumors that are around that one of the reasons why Pierre Poilievre does not have his security clearance is because his wife is an immigrant and some of her family may have gotten into the country through not the proper channels.
It's a lot of relief because they do a lot of the legwork of picking up the kids, taking them to different things. Some weekends when both Ann and I are away, they step in and entertain the kids for the whole weekend, and they're just wonderful. But it is, you know, life is short, and time is the most precious commodity. Unlike money, you can't get lost time back. It's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. And that's particularly true for small children. They're only like that for so long. You know, it's a very special time for, you know, when they're under 10, there's just a certain special magic about kids. And every minute you're not enjoying that is a minute you'll never get back. And so I'm conscious of that. And
me, look at me, poor me, and the decisions I'm making and the consequence of those decisions, poor me. That wasn't the question. They asked, what do you think your family would say that they've lost through this process? You didn't even not even one part of that answer had anything to do with what you think they think. You want to know why? Because you don't think about what they think, because you don't care about what they think. You're doing whatever you want to do selfishly when you shouldn't even be doing it in the first place. It is not campaign season, my guy. You should not be running around the country campaigning. You should be doing your fucking job, and you should be in Parliament doing your fucking job, and you should be in your district, in your riding area, doing the job that you stole from somebody else because you lost your own riding, you fucking garbage person. Good fucking God. April says, I would like to point out that if Pierre Poilievre left politics today, his pension would be $230,000 per year for the rest of his life. Yeah, he does not need to keep doing this. The man is rich. He's living in a mansion. He has paid staff that are paid for by the fucking taxpayers to do all this shit. Good morning. Hi, I'm having a fucking meltdown. Don't mind me. This dude's irritating the shit out of me with his language. I can't believe this. Please, anybody in chat, anybody, do you guys fucking think if somebody asked you a question, hey, what do you think your significant other or your close family members think about something? Would you be able to answer the question and be like, oh, they think this or that? Like, can we get Pierre Poilievre to play that married game, that newly marriage game where, like, his wife gets to write down an answer and he writes down an answer and they see if they get it right? And he would, like, just bomb every fucking question because he doesn't know dick shit about his family? What a selfish prick. I know I'm being a little nitpicky about this, and this isn't really the part that's related to politics, but it's an attitude, man. It's the way he approaches everything. And so, like, when you're so flippant and fucking, yeah, he doesn't talk to his family about his choices because his family have no, because he doesn't care. If you think he doesn't, like, if he doesn't care about his family, why the fuck makes you think he would care about you as from a political standpoint?
At the same time, though, the way I justify it is I believe that when my kids get older, they'll realize that we as a family were sacrificing for something that was worth it, and that's a
unnecessary sacrifices that don't need to be made for your invented boogeyman, so you can have more power and money in a position you don't deserve and didn't earn.
And I want them to know that you have to sacrifice in life for your own future benefit, but also for the benefit of other people. So I like to think that there's a positive lesson that they will grow from and hopefully replicate in their own lives.
Do you ever fear that it won't be worth it? That in the end, when you're not...
You really shouldn't curse your children like that.
90, missing those moments won't have been worth it.
I think anybody who's away from their kids a lot has to fear that. And it's also a reminder not to waste time.
Again, I would like to point out that his being absent is completely unnecessary. Wholly unnecessary.
You just can't be frittering away hours, thumbing through social media or daydreaming or doing stupid things.
This dude was literally just talking about how he watched somebody watching this interview on YouTube.
Things that don't advance either your family or your work mission, because every minute you're doing that is a minute you're not spending with the kids. So I've had to become a lot more disciplined in terms of my time. Like when I'm sitting on an airplane, and even when I'm tired, I have to be working because I know that if I don't do the work then it will come out of my time when I'm back at home, time that
as he is not doing the work he's supposed to be doing in Parliament.
I could be spending with the kids. But, we've managed to strike a pretty good balance. Like almost every night that I'm in town, I read to my little boy. I play with my little girl, have her up on my shoulders. We take the kids out every weekend when I'm in town to parks and playgrounds and play basketball with them, and we just stay very, very involved. I try to do a FaceTime with them. The goal is to do it at least once a day, sometimes more, so that they see their dad even when he's not at home with them. And we work at it and we fight for it. But, there are a lot of other people that make a lot of sacrifices too. You think of truckers. They're away from their families a long time.
Oh my god. Remember how I referenced the truckers earlier? Oh no, it's all coming around.
As well on icy roads in faraway provinces, or there are soldiers who serve long-term missions overseas and risk their lives doing it.
I can't believe this.
When I compare myself to the sacrifices of others, I know that I don't have it that bad.
The sacrifice that you are entirely voluntarily making, that you do not need to be making, even to stay in the political position you are, without even the considering retirement part, right? Alright, so we got another one, guys. We fished up another one. So Pierre is there talking about his family. No, he's talking about himself. He is not talking about his family. The question he was asked was, what does your family think about this? And then he proceeded to cry about how much of a victim that he is of all the sacrificing and martyrdom that he's definitely doing. So, yeah, I am disgusted. because he's a selfish prick. And he's obvious about it. And the fact that you can't see that is, are you just ignoring that part on purpose? Or are you just too emotionally caught up? Can we put him on a trucker's salary? Ooh, red cedar. That's a good idea. Let's adjust Pierre Poilievre's pension and salary to that of a trucker and see how well he does.
Independent political commentators are now reaching major audiences. One voice I never hear about on CBC, Global, CTV is David from Moose on the Loose. I'm wondering if you're aware of
No! You can't do this to me! Oh no! You mean the crazy, boring conspiracy theorist isn't being brought onto CTV? I'm shocked. The random YouTube guy? Oh, fucking no, dear lord. Oh, goodness. MB Guy says, oh, I'm sorry, you're still disgusting. Your fearless leader is worse. I don't know who you're talking about. Who's my fearless leader? Do I have one of those? Not the moose! Everybody duck! Not the moose! My guy, why don't you, MB, you do me a favor and tell me why I should give two shits about Pierre Poilievre. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Calm down. I know you're very upset. Guy. It's alright. Can you tell... I don't care about Mark Carney. Can you tell me why I should like Pierre Poilievre? It's okay, I'll wait. And, secondary question. Can you name one piece of legislation that Pierre Poilievre has successfully penned and passed during his time as a career politician? This makes solipsism more true. This video is made to troll Chesh. Confirmed. Yes. Fixation on perceived national decline, humiliation, or victimhood. 7, supremacy of the military and embrace of paramilitarism in an uneasy but effective collaboration with traditional elites. 8, rampant sexism. Yeah, he's checking all the boxes. What is 5% of 20% of 100? That's the other question. Todd Maffin for fearless leader. Hell yeah! I do like Todd. Todd's a cool guy. %1 of 20%. Do we need to do Elmo to him? Don't tell me Guy ran away right away already. You run away already? I need to get the little footstep sound when you run away from a battle in Pokemon where it's like I gotta like get that sound effect. Or the dodgeball. Donk. Guys, can you do me a favor and put the dodgeball emoji in the chat every time one of these guys runs away? Have you noticed that they seem to be predominantly men? Yeah, it's 5% of 20%, yeah. What is 5% of 20% is the question. Yeah! Donk! Donk, 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 donk. The bravery, like, he's gone already, man! What's up with that? Whoa. Yeah, there it is, the runaway sound effect, hell yeah. That's exactly what I was talking about. Oh, there's the dodgeball. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, so I'll grab this later. Alright, go on.
His work, he has over 200,000 subscribers. He gets around 80,000 views per episode. I don't agree with him on a lot, but I think having a diverse media diet where you're hearing from people on the left and people on the right, understanding how people see things is important. What do you think of where people are starting to get their political information from, Dave?
Well, I encourage people to listen to what he has to say. I think he's connected the dots on a lot of liberal corruption. The media...
How is Pierre Poilievre not getting sued? Over 200,000. Wow, that's so much. Yeah. How is, as if the numbers matter? Again, we're back to overinflated numbers being bullshit anyway. It's like saying Tesla is not really worth very much money because the number is overinflated. But regardless, how the fuck is he just allowed to go on and just what liberal corruption, such as, because when he says he thinks that Moose on the Loose is correct about and it has exposed a lot of liberal corruption, all I can think of is his crazy fucking board of bullshit, right? You know what I'm talking about? And like all of his like unvalidated accusations. We should take a day and go through all of those fucking that whole thing, but yeah.
In Ottawa has
I'll
done
get to it
absolutely
eventually.
almost nothing in reporting on the enormous corruption that is present in the Liberal government.
I will remind you that almost every press conference that we have watched that has had Mark Carney doing a Q&A, almost every time somebody has asked Mark Carney something about his like his businesses, like and whether or not it like there's what's the word I'm looking for, conflict of interests, and then regularly Mark Carney has to say it's in a blind trust. I don't know if there would be, like, there can't be a conflict of interest with me because it's in a blind trust, so I don't know what it's doing.
Whether it's this $200 million space pad where they overpaid, the government overpaid with your money for what was effectively a slab of concrete, and enriching a bunch of liberal insiders, or
200 space pad. All right. Here's the CBC article. Again, there's a reason I pulled up the CBC article, and the reason I pulled up the CBC article is because these guys are trying to claim that the mainstream liberal media aren't talking about these things. So, do we not want Canada involved in space? Ottawa puts $200 million into space launch pad in Nova Scotia. Launch pad near Canso, Nova Scotia, will serve as foundation for future spaceport. This is as of March 16th, 2026. The federal government is putting $200 million towards a Canadian-owned launch pad to send satellites into orbit. Ottawa is putting the funds towards a 10-year lease on a space launch pad on the East Coast, a key sovereign capability listed in the federal government's new defense industrial strategy. So what was that about Carney not doing anything and failing at everything he was doing? Canada does not currently have the ability to launch space projects on its own and has relied on the United States to get its satellites into space. The new launch pad is expected to come into operation in 2028. So was that somebody came in here earlier saying that Mark Carney and our government had folded to the United States on everything? As opposed to what? Launching satellites from Jell-O? Yeah, I know, right? The project was announced on Monday at a Canadian Space Agency lab in the nation's capital, where researchers used 5-story deep vacuum chambers to test satellite technology. A quote, about 20% of the Canadian economy relies on satellites. Our banking systems, our cell phone systems, our transactions, McGinty said. So we want to be able to give ourselves more sovereignty and security on that front. You mean the United States having control of our the accessibility and easeability through satellite transmissions, our bank transactions, is not a good idea, and we want to diversify away from that so they can't control that shit, so if something goes south, they can't just turn it off and fuck us over? Imagine that. So what about this is a bad idea? What about this is bad? What's wrong with this? They paid too much money for a slab of concrete, quote unquote.
Or the Brookfield conflicts that are so obvious, the fact that the Prime Minister is still invested in the biggest tax dodger in Canada, according to what the Toronto Star called it before he got into politics. And then when he got into politics, the Toronto Star stopped reporting on it altogether. Then you've got all the consulting contracts that go out, the prescribed IT scandal of millions of dollars paid for almost no value to tax dollars. These are things that that Moose on the Loose and others are exposing, and I think we need to.
Babo asks, is it worth it so far from the equator? The launch pad? I would recommend asking somebody a little bit more versed in rocketry than I am, but I think it's one of those things where what's the other option? You know what I mean? So if I pull up Google Earth again, right? And we go... Okay, we're still facing north, and we gotta go back over to North America, right? So here's North America. The equator is like... Can I get like a grid? Can I have a grid? Is there like a layer for this? Can I add a layer? Ooh. Ooh. I just want the equator. Can I just get the equator line? Okay, well, whatever. We roughly have, like, we have a rough idea of where the equator is. So, like, a lot of stuff gets launched from Florida, right? So this is where Florida is. Right? Because Florida is closer to the, like, equator, which should be... Stop that. Right? So, Nova Scotia, for anybody who doesn't know, Nova Scotia is right here. So, depends on what kind of... Yeah, so Red Cedar is correct, is that it depends on what kind of orbit you want and where you want it to be. Right? So where do you want, what direction you want that satellite going in, how you want it, where you want it, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the other option is, what else are we supposed to do? If we don't want to be reliant on the United States and Cape Canaveral, what should Canada do? Should we go to where? Somewhere relatively on the same, the Western Sahara? Guinea, or are we gonna go to where? Like Mexico, Malaysia, Japan? But what are we supposed to do? So at the end of the day, it might just be a matter of like, we can't have the United States controlling all the satellites, controlling our banking, right? So we got to do something about that, right? One of the more southern parts of Canada, where? Nova Scotia's right here. The only closest more southern than that is in Toronto. They're not gonna put a launch pad in fucking Toronto. That's not gonna fly. That's not gonna work. That'd be terrible. Nova Scotia is more south than the southernmost part of British Columbia. So, like, the most southern point, like, Australia? I mean, is Australia not the other direction from... Because, like, this is where Australia's, like, most active, right? Is the southern part, right? This is all fucking desert and, like, wilds, right? So you're launching from here. This is just the same place on the other side. It's gonna have the same distance from the equator. It's just south instead of north, right? Use France? Wait, is France not... Whoops, sorry, hold on. Is France not, like, at the same latitude? Is that latitude? Longitude? You know what I mean. I always get those backwards. France is up here! France is more north than Nova Scotia is. Yeah, we'd have to do all the transport and... Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe it will be worth it. Maybe it won't. Maybe talk to somebody. Maybe I can ask Landon. We can talk about it on Debate Pub later this month. We can have a chat about it and see. But the northern part of Australia is the northern, like, barely populated, isn't it? If I'm remembering correctly. Like, these are not cities. I guess, and like, the reason why you don't do things like this in places that are not populated, at least populated enough, is because you still have to transport everything. So, like... Oh, sorry, you didn't mean France. You meant... Oh, sorry. I don't know where that is. Where is that? South Africa... Yeah, Google Maps, yeah. Oh, right there. I found it! I found it! Right there! South America! Hey! Yeah, that might work. That might work. You'd have to, there'd be a lot of transport involved. And you'd want to circumvent the United States, but... Anyway, yeah, I'm not sold on what he's saying. I'm gonna take this stretch, and I'm gonna let him keep talking.
To have those independent voices that get around the censorship in Ottawa so Canadians know how badly they're being ripped off.
Speaking of which, the government just pushed through a lot of new bills, including laws on hate speech, online safety, and police access to digital information. Even the CBC came out with a panel that were all blown away by how this is unprecedented and inappropriate. What is your take? You were just there. What is your take on what just took place in these online censorship bills?
Well, we're seeing the more consolidation of power and control in the hands of the Carney Liberal government. They want to control your thoughts, your religious beliefs, they want to be able to have the capacity to surveil people's online activities with laws that go far beyond what exists in any other democratic country. And what you're seeing is a large-scale surveillance and censorship apparatus that the Liberals have put together with C9, which bans certain Bible verses that the government considers to be politically incorrect, with the old C11, which is the Online Streaming Act, which allows the government to manipulate algorithms to promote content it wants you to see and demote other content it does not want you to see. With C22, which basically turns giant tech companies into surveillance enterprises for the government.
All right, I'm going to pause him there. So, C9, C11, C22, C69, C420. This is the same as when they freaked out about Bill C16. These are not what these things say. Now, I agree that the internet and online security has had less laws and has been loose in what it was able to do from like a policing standpoint, right? I think everybody would agree with that. And I think anything that you try to do to police the online space is going to infringe upon an individual, right? Aren't they already surveillance companies? Good point, Cedar. Fascinating point you've brought up. I will remind you that Facebook is basically worthless in Canada, specifically because they told Facebook that it had to pay people when they utilized their work and published their work. Yeah, we can start here. Bill C9. All right. Summary. Bill C4. Yeah. This enactment amends the criminal code to, among other things, A, repeal the requirement that the Attorney General consent to the institution of proceedings for hate propaganda offenses. Specifically. B, create an offense of willfully promoting hatred against any identifiable group by displaying certain symbols in public places. So that's like a swastika. C, create a hate crime offense of committing an offense under that act or any other act of Parliament that is motivated by hatred based on certain factors. D, create an offense of imitating a person in order to impede them from accessing certain places that are primarily used for religious worship or by an identifiable group for certain purposes. And E, create an offense of intentionally obstructing or interfering with a person's lawful access to such places. So what's the problem with this bill? Exactly. And this is part of the problem of what Pierre Poilievre does when he does these interviews and when he does this preaching, right? He misrepresents what the bill says, doesn't explain why and what the problem is with the bill, and then proceeds to present it as if it's something different. Let's put it back. Let's see what it said. Let's see what he said.
And what you're seeing is a large-scale surveillance and censorship apparatus that the Liberals have put together with C9, which bans certain Bible verses that the government considers to be politically incorrect.
What? Where? How? When? Why? Citation needed. The screenshot that they're sharing shows the beginning of this. I don't know why theirs has, like, crumpled paper vibe to it, but whatever. Aesthetics, I guess. An act to amend the criminal code, hate propaganda, hate crime, and access to religious or cultural places. The day I learned the Bible is banned in Canada, I know, right? This act may be cited as Combating Hate Act. Oh, look. Nazi shit. It's not a big bill, it's only a couple of pages, and half of it is in French. Like, look at it, the fucking Criminal Code, paragraph 2A of the definition offense in section 138 of the Criminal Code is amended by adding the following after subparagraph LXXI.1. LXXI.2, which is like, what is that, 1,119? No, 21? 1,000, no, 1,100 and... X is 10, right? L is 1,000? 1,100 and... XI would be 21, right? Or it'd be 11. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Anyway, section 423.3, intimidation buildings used for religious worship, etc. 3, subsection 3183 of the Act is repealed. 4.1, section 319 of the Act is amended by adding the following after subsection 2.1. Willful promotion of hatred, terrorism, and hate symbols. 2.2. Everyone commits an offense who willfully promotes hatred against any identifiable group by displaying in any public place a symbol that is principally used by or principally associated with a listed entity as defined in subsection 83.011. B. The Nazi Hakenkreuz. I don't know how the fuck that had a Hakenkreuz. Is there still a German in the chat? Also known as the Germans, also known as the Nazi swastika or the Nazi double sig rune. Also known as the SS bolts, or C, a symbol that so nearly resembles a symbol described in paragraph A or B that it is likely to be confused with that symbol. Punishment 2.3. Everyone who commits an offense under subsection 2.2 A is guilty of an indictable offense. Undetectable. What the fuck? Where's my brain? Is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not to exceed 2 years. 2 years maximum. Or B, is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. So if there's more stuff going on. 2, subsection 319.4 to 6 of the Act are replaced by the following defenses, subsection 2.2, 3.2, no person shall be convicted of an offense under subsection 2.2, A, if the display of the symbol was for a legitimate purpose, including a legitimate purpose related to journalism, religion, education, or art that is not contrary to the public interest, or B, if in good faith the display of the symbol was intended to point out for the purpose of removal matters producing or tending to produce feelings of hatred towards an identifiable group in Canada. Forfeiture. 4. If a person is convicted of an offense under subsection 1, 2, 2.1, or 2.2, or section 318, anything by means of or in relation to which the offense was committed, on such conviction may, in addition to any other punishment imposed, be ordered by the presiding provincial court judge or judge to be forfeited to His Majesty in right of the province in which that person is convicted, for disposal as the Attorney General may direct. Exemption from seizure of communication facilities. 5, subsection 199, 6, and 7 apply with any modifications that the circumstances require to subsection 1, 2, 2.1, or 2.2, or section 318. Clarification. 6. For greater certainty, the communication of a statement does not incite or promote hatred for the purposes of this section solely because it discredits, humiliates, hurts, or offends. So this is not limiting speech in any capacity. 3 subsection 3197 of the Act is amended by adding the following in alphabetical order. Hatred means the emotion that involves detestation or vilification and that is stronger than disdain or dislike. 5. The Act is amended by adding the following after section 320.1, hate crime. Offense motivated by hatred. 320.1001. 1. Everyone who commits an offense referred to in this section as the included offense under this act or any other act of Parliament if the commission of the included offense is motivated by hatred based on race, national or ethnic origin, language, color, religion, sex, age, mental or physical disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression is A, guilty of an indictable offense and liable to the punishment provided for in subsection 5, or B, guilty of an offense punishable by summary conviction. Definition of hatred. 2. In this section, hatred has the same meaning as in subsection 3197. Clarification. 3. For greater certainty, the commission of an offense under this act or any other act of Parliament is not for the purposes of this section motivated by hatred based on any of the factors mentioned in subsection 1 solely because it discredits, humiliates, hurts, or offends. So no, you're not going to get arrested for your fuck Trudeau flags, you fucking idiots. Limitation. 4. No proceedings shall be commenced under subsection 1 by way of indictment if the included offense may be prosecuted only by way of summary conviction proceedings. Maximum penalty. 5. Everyone who is found guilty of an indictable offense under subsection 1 is liable to a term of imprisonment of not more than 5 years. A, 5 years if the maximum term of imprisonment for the included offense is 2 years or more but less than 5 years. B, 10 years if the maximum term of imprisonment for the included offenses is 5 years or more but less than 10 years. C, 14 years if the maximum term of imprisonment for the included offenses is 10 years or more but less than 14 years. D, life if maximum term imprisonment of the included offenses is 14 years or more and up to imprisonment of life. For life, sorry. Applicable provisions. 6. Subject to paragraphs 1A and B and subsection 4 and 5, any provision of this act or any other act of Parliament, including one in respect to procedure, orders, or consequences that would have been applicable in relation to the included offenses applies in relation to an offense under subsection 1. 6. This act is amended by adding the following after section 423.2, intimidation, building used for religious worship, etc. 423.3. 1. Every person commits an offense who engages in any conduct with the intent to provoke a state of fear in a person in order to impede their access to a building or structure or part of a building or structure that is primarily used for religious worship or I2 by identifiable group as defined in subsection 3184. A, for administration, social, cultural, or sports activities or events. B, as an educational institution, including a daycare center. C, as a residence for seniors. Or B, a cemetery. Obstruction for inferences with access to. Every person commits an offense who, without lawful authority, intentionally internationally. Every person commits an offense who, without lawful authority, intentionally obstructs or interferes with another person's lawful access to a building or structure or part of a building or structure referred to in paragraph 1A or to a cemetery. Punishment. 3. Every person who commits an offense under subsection 1 or 2 is A, guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 10 years. B, guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. Exception. 4. No person is guilty of an offense under subsection 2 by reason only that they attended at or near or approach a building or structure referred to in paragraph 1A or cemetery for the purposes only of obtaining communicating information. Of obtaining or communicating information. 7. Subsection 4304.1 and 4.101 of the Act are repealed. 8. Paragraph C of the definition secondary designated offense in section 487.04 of the Act is amended by adding the following after subparagraph XI.01. XI.02, subsection 423.31, intimidation, building use for religious purpose, etc. 9. 1. Subsection 5154.1 of the Act is amended by adding the following paragraph after B11. B12, an offense under subsection 423.3, intimidation, building used for religious worship, etc. 2. Paragraph 5154.3b of the Act is replaced by the following. B. An offense described in subsection 264 or 423.1 or subsection 423.2, 1 or 423.31. 10. Section 662 of the Act is amended by adding the following after subsection 6. Offense under subsection 320.1001, charged. 7. For greater certainty, if a count charges an offense under subsection 320.1001 and the evidence does not prove that offense but proves an included offense, the accused may be found guilty of the offense that is proved. 11. The Act is amended by adding the following after subsection 726.2, endorsement offense under subsection 320.1001. 1. 726.21. When an offender is found guilty of an offense under subsection 320.1001, the account shall endorse on the information or indictment as the case may be, included offenses that have been proved by the evidence, and in the absence of evidence to the contrary, the endorsement is proof of that fact. Coming into force, 30th day after royal assent. 12. This act comes into force on the 30th day after the day on which it receives royal assent. The end. So, what can we surmise from this? That simply, Bill C-9 is an act to amend the criminal code relating to hate propaganda, hate crime, and access to religious or cultural places to make some minor adjustments to include some shit that wasn't in there that should probably be included. These things still take royal assent? Yes. We have a parliament, and our parliament still has the crown involved. So they'll stamp it and send it through. So, what can we ascertain? What about this was censorship? What about this censored a Bible verse that wasn't politically correct? Did you see anything like that in this amendment? Did you see anything about censoring religious speech? Is there not protections for religion written into this? We can ascertain that Pierre Poilievre is a fucking liar? I see nothing, boss. LOL, the liberals are banning the Bible. I never read. I'm so oppressed. Right? My guy. Did you not just claim that Bill C-9 is banning Bible verses? Which Bible verse? Tell Elmo.
With laws that go far beyond what exists in any other democratic country. And what you're seeing is a large-scale surveillance and censorship apparatus that the liberals have put together with C9, which bans certain Bible verses that the government considers to be politically incorrect, with the old C11, which is the Online Streaming Act, which allows the government to manipulate algorithms to promote content it wants you to see and demote other.
The old Bill C-11 as opposed to the new Bill C-11? So, I have a question. Is Pierre Poilievre not the leader of the opposition party? So if he was opposed to this bill, he should have been in parliament opposing it? And so if him and his caucus failed to oppose it, then maybe he's not doing his job very well? Maybe? Do we need to do the extra work? Do we need to bother pulling up Bill C-11 to see if what he's saying about that one is true after he so blatantly misrepresented and fear-mongers about Bill C-9? Parlez-vous français? Je ne parle pas. Far beyond what exists in other democratic countries, really? How about your... Yeah, go wave a Nazi flag in Germany and see how well that goes for you. You're 100% right, Sable. Why is Pierre Poilievre so concerned about him wanting to make sure people are allowed to wave swastikas around? I'd be curious to know. French is pretty common in New Brunswick as well, actually. Quebec and New Brunswick, I believe, are the two predominant French provinces. Quebec, very obviously so. New Brunswick, a little bit under the radar.
With the old C11, which is the Online Streaming Act, which allows the government to manipulate algorithms to promote content it wants you to see and demote other content it does not want you to see. All
right, so let's look up C11. Bill C-11, an act to amend the Broadcasting Act to make related and consequential amendments to other acts. Explanatory note. Section 4.2 of the Department of Justice Act requires the Minister of Justice to prepare a charter statement for every government bill to help inform public and parliamentary debate on government bills. One of the Ministers of Justice's most important responsibilities is to examine legislation for inconsistency with the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the Charter. By tabling a charter statement, the minister is sharing some of the key considerations that inform the review of a bill for inconsistency with the charter. A statement identifies... I would like to point out the way our shit works is the charter has its own, like... You know what, never mind, I'm already... Oh, you prepped it? Yeah, send it over. Send me yours. Send me yours. You probably got the PDF, right? Pass it on over. That way the link is in the chat for people later, too, if people want to follow along. Can you hear my throat? Can you hear my voice already eating shit? Yeah, perfect. Let's go. Nicely done. Bill C-11. This is for first reading September 6th, 2025. This one is longer, as you can see. It's got more to it. Take a break. Get some tea. Legal language does something odd to my brain early in the day. Yeah, valid. Let me come over here for a second. Hi. How you doing? You guys having a good day? You guys having a good time? You guys having a good day? How long have we been live for? 3 hours almost? Yeah, I think we can do Bill C-11. How long do you think it's gonna take? How many pages is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yo, I might have to take a little bit of a longer break if you want me to go through all of Bill C-11. This one's longer. It's called Act to Amend the National Defense Act and Other Acts. Save it for tomorrow? Well, tomorrow, Chris Shelton, it's Wednesday today, right? Tomorrow, Chris Shelton is coming on over on Debate Hub to talk about Scientology and lead us to the next wonderful episode of that. But yeah, I can do some of this tomorrow. I don't know if I'd have to do this in 2 parts though, to be honest. It's 52 pages. I might have to do it in 2 parts. I think we should do this though. I think this is important because this man is just straight up lying about what these things say, and I think reading them out and then making them their own videos is going to be worth our time. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So say hi to Debate Hub. Hi Debate Hub. Hi YouTube. Holy moly. I do not feel good comparing myself to USanians. No? Really? All right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right? I'll be right back. A BRB. So angry. So angry. Alright, hey, I'm back. Alright, fucking hump day, am I right? Am I right? Just came from work, your brain works at 50% capacitance. Yo, valid. Okay. So, he mentioned, hold on, let me just double check. He mentioned Bill C-11 and C-22 and C-9.
C-22, which basically turns giant tech companies into surveillance enterprises for the government, to numerous other bills that they brought forward that, for C-18, for example. C-18 makes
a C-18. Okay, so C-11, C-22, C-18, hold on, no, I'm not changing the scene because I'm just getting the numbers that he lists. C-9, C-11, C-22, C-18,
so that a lot of independent media outlets can't even get on Instagram and Facebook anymore. And we're the only place in the world where that's the case, or the only democracy in the world where that's the case.
That's not true.
We're fighting for free speech. I'm a free speech champion. I believe that people should be able to...
Blah, 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 blah.
We need to...
I couldn't agree more. Let's build thoughts on what...
Okay, so yeah, that's the list that he names. We'll go back and we'll start this part again when we come back, but he had an image, some images of Sean Fraser on there, which is pretty funny. Okay, C9, C11, C22, C18. So I'll get those pulled up and we'll go through... C18 and C22. Nice. Alright. Bless your heart. Okay, how big are these? One is 74 pages. And the other one is 72 pages. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a project. Do you guys want me to do that live? Or would you guys rather I just play the clip of Pierre Poilievre talking and then read through it? And then play the clip of Pierre talking and then... Like, because I can just record this on my own. Like, we don't have to do it live. Do you guys have a preference? Live. If I do it live, you get all my flubs of not being able to read. Take a drink every time I read a word, or read numbers backwards. Then I can put it up twice, double dipping, triple dipping. I can put it on here. I can put it up as a video here. I can put it up as a debate hub video. I can do it as a stream here and a stream on Twitch. That's quad dipping, my friend. That's, now all that talking about dip makes me want some fucking nachos. It would be fun live. Lest you get crispy. Yeah, I just don't know how many parts it's going to take me to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, just this one section that he lists off. He lists off all this shit and lies so much just in the span of a couple of seconds that it's going to take me days worth. Okay, so how about this? We will commit to one video a day, like one live stream a day. We'll read... We just did Bill C9. We'll do C11, we'll do C22, and we'll do C18. We'll do them in that order, because that's the order he listed them in. Do you think I can read 72 pages in one day? I think I can do that in one stream. You guys think I can do... Do you believe in me? It's a lot of reading. With enough tea. Please include the reference to the bullshit asymmetry principle. Brandolini's Law. Brandolini's Law. Can I let me type this in. Hold on. Brandolini's Law. Brandolini's Law. Modal thinkers. Bullshit asymmetry principle. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Hold on, wait, no, come back. Don't stop until it's all done and do a 48-hour stream. A 48-hour stream of me reading might be like... I could try and do it in one. If I tried to do it in one stream, I could do it. I don't think it would take me 48 hours, but I could probably do it. Do you want me to just do one long stream and just go for it and just, like, go to town? We could try. I don't think I get paid enough for that. I think I need some monetary incentive. Bullshit asymmetry principle. The amount of energy needed to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude bigger than needed to produce it. Yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna take this image that they've got here, and I'm gonna turn this into my thumbnail, and I'm gonna put my face over on this guy, and I'm gonna put Pierre Poilievre over here. You want me to try and do it in one? Okay, I can't do that tomorrow. That can't be tomorrow. It can't be Friday. How do you guys feel about me doing it for Chill Monday? Or I can do it, I can either do it Tuesday, or I could do it on Monday. Tuesday? Not for Monday? Tuesday? You want to try doing Tuesday? Tuesday? Okay. Alright, in the meantime, should we... I guess tomorrow... Okay, so what we'll do is we'll stop here for today. And then tomorrow we'll come back and finish watching this. Alright? And then Friday will be normal Friday stuff. Tomorrow we'll do this, and then I'll be live on Debate Hub with Chris. And then Saturday was a debate happening with Borg and Dapper, which you should definitely come and check out. That's gonna be a good time. So Tuesday, and then Tuesday we'll come back and we'll go through these bills. I have to talk to Monia about Done for Friday. Actually, hold on one second. I'm gonna sneeze. No, sorry, excuse me. Okay, so yeah, I've got to talk to Monia about Dumbfuck Friday, because Dumbfuck Friday will likely be moved to 11 a.m. my time, 11 p.m. her time. So it'll get moved 12 hours backwards. So it'll actually be Friday for her and for me. So we'll both be on Friday. But I think that'll work out a little bit better for us. Someone must have smuggled in some lavender. Yeah. Okay. So what's the timestamp on this? 18 minutes, roughly? Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking about this. Alright. Yeah, we can do that. We can get this other half of Pierre Poilievre interview done tomorrow. It's yellow outside? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah, it's Hollywood, Mexico outside right now. So I guess I'm not getting any yard work or anything done today. Yippee for me. Okay. So we will do a mega stream on Tuesday. I'll probably start early. Like, I'll probably start at like 10 or 11 a.m. and go from there. I need to pull up I'm gonna have to pull up the contempt counter. And like get the total number. That's gonna be like how many pages we have left. So, this is our progress bar. So, the total number of pages we need to read is... Get out of here. So we've already done Bill C9. So we got 52... Hold on. After I gotta read the French half of it? Oh god. That would be good practice. 52 pages for 1 plus... 74 pages. Oh, plus 74 pages plus 72 pages. So we have 198 pages to read. Yeah, just shy of 200. And we already, if we included Bill C9, which we already did, that would be another 10 pages. Bill C9 was 10 pages. So we'll have done a total of 208. Right? Yeah. Alright, so we have 100 and... fucking 198 pages to read on Tuesday. Okay. I believe in me. We've got that set up, so that's nice. What is this?
In the same word that where my true that where clowns.
Ugh. I forgot what that was. 8-hour stream. Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to read nearly 200 pages out loud. I guess I'll probably try to not do any commentary. I'll just be reading it through. I'll probably have like a little bit of a blurb at the beginning of each one. I'll take a bit of a break between each. Well, yeah, to be fair. Yeah, good point. Good point. To be fair, the pages are like half of the pages in French. So it's not going to be as big, and like the spacing on these is like they're short. They're not like paragraphs upon well, these ones are a little bit. This is the summary though, so and like some of the pages are blank, so we can just skip, right? So it'll be okay. We'll be okay. Like these are like Section 153, sexual exploitation. Section 153.1, sexual exploitation of person with disability. Annual report information. So, like, want me to read the French too? Son Excellence la Governature Générale recommandée à la Chambre des communiqués. L'affection des nerfs. Part of the French lessons. Yeah, that's not French, it's butchered French. Yeah, Quebec French. I'm just kidding. Alright, so we'll do that on Tuesday, but you guys better make this worth my while. I'm telling you. You guys owe me for this. I'm doing a public service. And then I'll cut it into videos so you guys can just watch it on fast speed or whatever. Give my voice a couple days to recover, rest before I try to do this. What time am I starting? I'm probably gonna start at 10 a.m. my time on Tuesday. Probably 10 a.m. my time. Which is Eastern. 10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Alright. That's our plan. I don't know. You want me to put it in the translator? I don't know. 10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. What are you on other days? I don't know. I don't know what the schedule is right now. Right now I'm just kind of going live when I can, and I've got the spoons. So I'm just kind of doing what feels good right now, and then we'll stumble, or once we're settled in a little bit more, we'll stumble in. I need to get some Windex and clean my fucking screen. Minister de la Défense Nationale. Hi. PB's a big fat liar face, and we're gonna explain in depth why. By explain, I mean we're just gonna read what the shit actually says. Oh my god. We have, how many did I say? 198 pages to read? What's 198 divided by 2? 8 would be 4. I'm not gonna do the math. Okay, I have a calculator for that. 99. 99. 99, 99, 99. Better than Reaching Project 2025, the other Heritage Report. You're probably right, yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm very bad at doing math in my head. Like, incredibly bad at doing math in my head. I have to, like, step by step it in my brain if I write it down. Did I not finish Project 2025? I'm pretty sure I finished Project 2025, didn't I? I know there was one I didn't finish. Did I not finish Project 2025? Did I give up and be like, fuck this. You guys are it's too late. You guys aren't listening anyway. No, it's not that I can't do the math. It's that I really struggle to do math in my head. If I write it down on a piece of paper, I can do it pretty easily, but I can't do it in my head. I think it's related to the aphantasia. I never finished it. I got halfway. Barely. Oh. It's 200. Oh, 100. Oh, yeah, then just minus 2. Yeah, that would have been... Or minus 1 because it's half. Yeah, that would have made sense. That would have been a good way to do it. Oh, yeah, there's a tracker for that, isn't there? Project 2025 tracker. Oofed. Oofda. 320. Agencies involved 34. Time until end of term. 919 days still. 138 are done. 70 are in progress. Holy moly. Epstein fallout tracker. Track the legal fallout from the Epstein case. November. October. August. July. Yikes. It's my fault that Trump got elected if only you'd finished. Trump was already elected before I was done. I gave up, man. I gave up because the Americans didn't fucking care. I was like, God damn it, guys. Why don't you care? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what to tell you. The fuck is Opie saying? Oh, cool. He retrofitted his Game Boy Color with aluminum housing. That's rad. Burp sound? Chirping? What? What are you talking about? You guys lost me. I've been left behind. My brain is toasted. I'm done. I'm done with this day. What do I need to do? What do I need to do today? I need to edit. That's what I need to do. I need to do editing and scheduling. Oh, before I go, hold on. Let me open Discord real quick because we got some stuff coming up on Debate Hub. They voted for a guy that said people were eating cats and dogs. Yeah. Yeah. Valid. Valid. Get out of here. All right, what's going on? Okay, so we're going to have Chris Shelton and Barry at least coming on to talk about singularity and AI and like the ethics around that. So that's going to have some psychology, that's going to have some ethics stuff, that's going to have some philosophy, etc., etc. And then I am currently scheduling a time to talk about nuclear energy with Landon and Jordan, and hopefully FTFE when he gets back to me, and probably Dapper, but that's probably going to be in August, so next month. So we're scheduling it in next month for Debate Hub, so there's a bunch of stuff coming down the line there, so if you're interested in all that kind of shit, don't miss out! Don't miss out! It's gonna be good! Go subscribe! Go subscribe! I need to reorganize my brain, so I'm gonna go do that. I gotta figure out what I need to download, what needs to be edited. I gotta look at my list of videos that haven't been edited and turned into YouTube Shorts yet, so there's a bunch of that. Al never picked what he won for his freaking, Twitch, clip thing, so I gotta go through those and take a look at that and see if that's functional. Other than that, I'm gonna go and get a bunch of basically background work done so you guys can have more content. So look out on the Patreon and membership stuff if you want early access, and look out for stuff coming down there. I've got some art to do and we're gonna get back into that soon, but like I said, I'm just settling in and getting things organized and figuring out what our schedule is gonna be like, so look out for that. TM. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back soon. What day is it today? Yeah, tomorrow we'll finish up the interview we're watching, and then I'll be live with Chris. So come and join us tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Fuck that guy and his fucking YouTube videos. Stop listening to a man who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, you idiots!